cavalcade of sports is on the air. Gillette presents the World Series. This afternoon, we bring you the fifth game between the champions of the American and National Leagues, the New York Yankees, and the St. Louis Cardinals, from Sportsman's Park in St. Louis. As in all series games for the past 5 seasons, your radio host is the Gillette Safety Razor Company, which broadcasts banner-line sports events such as the Kentucky Derby, football bowl games, and major boxing bouts for your entertainment month in and month out. And this is Red Barber with Bob Elson and Bill Corum on deck to give you a clear, accurate, words-eye picture of every player that's played. Right now, down on the floor, Sportsman's Park, the Yankees are finishing their infield workout. And as soon as they taper off from that, the groundkeepers will take over, and then the ball game itself in roughly 14 minutes. I know you want to know who will be the pitchers, and you won't be surprised at all. It's the 2 big right-handers, the strong men, the aces. Spud Chandler is coming back for his second time. He pitched and won the opener. Chandler, who won 20 games and lost 4 in the American League, who is 1-2 all told in World Series competition. Mort Cooper is coming back for the second time. He's the only winner for the Cardinals so far this fall classic. And Cooper, against the Yankees in the World Series, is a game and a game. He lost 1 last year, and of course has won this year, pitching magnificently in a very dark and grieved hour. Cooper was 21 and lost 8 in the regular season. So the 2 big right-handers, the strong men, are going to go. For the Yankees, they're going back to the batting order just as they had it against Cooper, which was in Game 2. That means Crizzetti leading off at short. Bud Matheny gets his second starting chance in right. Bill Johnson is at third base, hitting third. The strong man, Charlie Keller, in left, hitting fourth. Then comes Bill Dickey, who yesterday set a new World Series record and who will be adding to it today. He now has played in more World Series games with one club than any other player. Today will be his 38th as a Yankee. Nick Etten at first base moves up the batting list to hit 6th. Then comes Joe Gordon at second. Steinbach in center field is hitting 8th, and the pitcher is Chandler. For the Cardinals, as they go into this series, to use a golfing phrase, dormy. In other words, they can't lose anymore. Klein is leading off at second base, and Billy Southworth has made his first changes in his regular batting order. He is sending Deb Gomes, the veteran, to right field, and he's hitting number 2 in Harry Walker's spot, and it is young Harry Walker who is lifted from the batting order today. Stan Musial remains hitting third, but goes to center field. So the first 3 hitters for St. Louis again. First Cardinal change in the batting order, aside from the pitchers. Klein leading off, Gomes in right, Musial in center. Then the batting order is as it has been. The captain and the catcher, Walker Cooper, back of the plate, hitting fourth. George Karowski is at third base. Bill Corum's got a great story to tell you about Karowski. Sanders is at first. Ray Sanders hitting 6th. Danny Litweiler in left. Slats Marion at short. And Mort Cooper, the great right-handed ace of St. Louis, is pitching and hitting 9th. The umpires in their rotation, Eddie Rommel of the American League, back of the plate. Beans Reardon of the National at first. Joe Rowe of the American at second. Bill Stewart of the National at third. The Yankees have just finished their infield workout. The groundkeeping squad has taken over, and they're smoothing out the skin surface of the inner defense. And we are moving over now to our good friend and yours, Bill Corum, who's been with us on these broadcasts. We just wouldn't feel right without Bill on him. And, of course, you've been knowing Bill not only over the air, but for the great work he's done with the gentlemen of the Fourth Estate. Bill, as you know, is a sports columnist for the New York Journal-American. Bill Corum.
Thank you, Red. We come now to the missing out stage of this series between the almost down, but not downhearted Cardinals and the high-riding Yankees. There may be plenty of dynamite left in this 40th Baseball Classic, but if there's going to be, the Latin TNT in the Redbird bats has got to explode, and explode now. I believe one of our correspondents has accused us broadcasters of putting a hex on the red sleeves by giving the score in a certain way or not giving it in a certain way. But what the heck? The true reason the homeboys are in the precarious position in which they find themselves as this 5th and for them last chance game begins is that they haven't been hitting. That was the fly in manager Billy Southworth's cup of bitter tea in the first 4 games. You can second guess it or analyze it as you like, and up and down and back and forth until you're blue in the face, but the chorus of the tune always comes back to the fact that the Sam Breeden boys haven't been playing good baseball. Not Marion, who has failed to cover his usual wide-ranging ground at short. Not Musial, one of the greatest natural hitters I ever saw, and probably the best in baseball today, saving the slugging Ted Williams. Not the courageous Kurowski, who's been playing on his nerve and suffering a variety of ailments, one of which, gallstones, kept him up all Saturday night, and not until the morning of Sunday morning before yesterday's game did he get any sleep. Not Lou Klein or Harry Walker or any man on the team, with the possible exception of Ray Sanders, the Bonne Terre, Missouri bummer. In fairness to Marion, I should say that he has hit better than might have been expected, but his usual brilliance of field was missing in those first 4 games. But today is another day, and also X Day, as far as the Cards are concerned. They're down to the last coupon on their ration card, and if they're going to get any winner's share beefsteaks this winter, they're going to have to start getting them when the hands of the clock on the scoreboard move relentlessly down to 1:30. As for the Yankees and their big pilot, Joe McCarthy, the 4th Ward boy from Buffalo, New York, they're sitting in the honey seat and will be at least until this game is lost. If that happens, then there will be a new shuffle of the Cards, and anything can happen. Marsh Joe has got that pitching man from Georgia, Big Spurgeon Chandler, going for him today, and Spud can be a mighty hot potato in one of these crucial games. He's a pitcher, and nobody, as a rule, makes free with his offerings. Naturally, there are the off-remarked exceptions that prove all rules. But there'll be 2 strong-arm servers out there on that ridge today. 2 fellas who can really pitch and who are both capable of rising to great heights. If Mort Cooper, the top Cardinal right-hander who has won their only game in the series, can come through in this last-ditch stand, he will have exactly reversed last year's situation. Last year, he was the only one of the Card pitchers who got a chance that couldn't win. This time, he may conceivably prove to be the only one who could. And that's baseball as she's played and always will be played. I would like to point out one more thing. If the Yankees win today's game, and with it the series, that will only be a case of turnabout being fair play. The Cards hung it on them the same way last year, and while this is the championship of a fine sport, and literally this year a world's championship in the matter of worldwide interest, and while there are millions who are properly excited about it, it's still just a ball game, just a World Series. All of us together, St. Louisans, New Yorkers, and all over this great country, are not only rooting, but playing in the big game. That means so much to us all. Let's not one of us fail to give all we have in that, as the Yanks and Cards have not failed to give all they had in this series. Now, if I've got time, I've got a great little story about Frankie Crosetti. Yesterday, he missed a pop-fly ball out there, you know, and he was telling me about it a minute ago. He said, Bill, that sun was so bad I turned sidewise and only got half of the ball. And he said that's what happens to a little Italian boy when he tries to get smart. Red has told you about the pitchers. Chandler and also was a great football player down in Georgia. I remember seeing him kick a dropper place kick against NYU in the stadium. But I haven't got much more time now, and so I'm going to turn you back to my good friend Red Barber. Okay, Red.
Billy Southworth, the skipper of the Mound City Club, was telling us last evening that the Cards originally were known as the Browns, later as the Maroons. Then at the turn of the century, Bill McHale, a sports writer, dubbed them the Cardinals because of the trimming on their uniforms. Likewise, today's Gillette Blue Blade derives its name from the color of its specially processed steel. Hardening and tempering are tremendously important in fine blade manufacture. Improper hardening naturally results in poor quality blades. So Gillette technicians abandoned conventional hardening methods. They developed a radically improved process, designed special electric furnaces in which the temperature is controlled automatically. Right there, fans, is one of many reasons why today's Gillette Blue Blade shaves you much quicker and easier, and lasts far longer than any other blade you can name. Well, that was a very interesting visit we had with Bill Corum, and be with us just as soon as the final out of today's game takes place, for Bill will be back then. Looking down onto the field, it is Chandler for the Yankees, Mort Cooper for the Cardinals, both unlimbering their mighty right arms. Sam Narron, the bullpen catcher who was called upon to pinch hit yesterday, his only appearance in the series, is warming up Mort Cooper. And you may be interested to know that Narron, when we say the bullpen catcher, spent the whole pennant race practically there. He was called on 11 times in the course of the pennant campaign to pinch hit, and of those 11 times he had just one hit for the season. So he had been seen very infrequently in actual competition. Johnny Schulte the veteran bullpen catcher, batting practice catcher, and warm-up catcher for the Yankees. Schulte is warming up Chandler. Whenever a Yankee pitcher is being warmed up, it is Schulte with the mitt on. Whether it's before the ball game or whether it's down in the bullpen during the game. And Schulte was saying on the train coming out that he hadn't checked it, but he knew he'd warmed up more World Series winners than anybody else. And I don't think anyone would even bother to have to go to the record, because that is true. The Ground Rules Conference exchange of batting orders is finishing up at the plate. Art Fletcher is there representing the Yankees. Catcher Cooper is there representing the Cardinals. There's exchange of orders right now. And we are momentarily expecting the playing of the national anthem. There's the announcement. We're just a couple of moments away from the first pitch of this fifth game of the 1943 World Series, with honor standing, as you know, the Yankees 3 games, the Cardinals 1. There the Cardinals going out to take the field, and let's pause very quickly for station identification. This is Mutual.
WOR, New York.
And now it is with a great deal of pride and a great deal of pleasure to place you in the excellent hands of Bob Elson, who will bring you the play-by-play of the first half of this very vital and important ball game. Bob Elson to all of us, and to the United States Navy, Lieutenant Bob Elson. Bob?
Thank you very much, Red Barber, and good afternoon, fans. By the way, Red, I was enjoying just a minute ago while I was looking through the sporting news that fine cartoon that Willard Mullen did of you on the front page. I know the baseball fans will all get a kick out of it.
Well, it was as sincere a compliment, Bob, as I've ever had.
Now the Cardinals are on the field, and we're getting all set for this big World Series ball game. And we have 2 changes in the lineup. Musial is playing in right field today, Garms is playing in left field, and Hopp is playing in center field. In other words, both Walker and Litwater are out of the game. Borowski is at third, Marion at short, Klein at second, at first base Sanders. The pitcher is Morton Cooper, and the catcher is his brother Walker Cooper. Cooper won the number 2 game of the series in New York by a score of 4-3, giving the Yankees 6 hits. And his opponent today, Chandler, won the number 1 game, giving the Cardinals 7 hits. That score was 4-2. Now the Cardinals in their white uniforms are on the field, and the field announcer is calling and repeating the lineup to the people in the stands. The capacity here is 34,000, and it's jammed to that capacity today, and the only reason there isn't more is there's no place to put them. Now the first man to bat for the Yankees is coming up to the plate. It's going to be Frankie Crissetti, who has played outstanding ball in the series. He has 4 for 14. He bats right-handed, and we're getting all set for the first pitch down of the World Series ball game here at St. Louis. This is the number 5 game, with the series standing 3-1. Cooper's ready. Here is the first pitch, and it's a ball, and it's very wild, way up over his head. In fact, it almost went behind him, and it's ball 1. Nobody on and nobody out. If you're just tuning in, the World Series ball game is just getting started at St. Louis. Earl Combs coaching at first. Artie Fletcher over at third. Morton Cooper is ready, very deliberate. There's a high foul. It's out of play. It's in the stands back at the St. Louis dugout, which is down here to our left. And below our mutual booth and to our right, the Yankees, clad in blue-gray, are quartered. Sort of a gray uniform with dark blue stockings and very dark blue cap. Very dark blue stockings. Almost look black from up here. It's a ball, 1 strike, 1 count on Crissetti. Here comes the pitch, and there's a swing and a foul back into the wire. By the way, This man who works the scoreboard here, Lou Adame, has the reputation of having the fastest scoreboard in the major leagues. Players were kidding Beans Reardon last year, working behind the plate, asking him why he was so slow. And he says, well, I always wait to see what the fellow who runs the scoreboard's going to call it. That's no kidding. This is really a fast scoreboard. Those lights are all set before you know it. Here's the pitch, and there is a called strike over the outside corner, knee high, and Presetti is called out on strikes. He's giving umpire Rommel, who's behind the plate, just a bit of an argument, not much, and that is the first strike out of the ball game. Presetti was called out. He did not swing. Rommel is back at the plate of the American League. Stewart of the National League is working out there at third. Joe Rue is at second, and Beans Reardon is working at first. Here's a left-hand hitter up. It's Matheny, the right fielder, and there is a strike. It's right in across his knee. The outfield is playing straight away. Remember, it's Johnny Hopp today in center field for St. Louis. Musial is playing right field, and Debs Garms is playing left field. Yankees batting in the first half of the first inning at St. Louis. Here's the pitch to Matheny. Matheny swings and misses a very fast curve. Lots of power back of that one, brother. That was really blown down there, right up around the letters. And Matheny took a vicious swing and missed. His record for the series is 0 for 3. Bud Matheny playing in right field in place of Lindell because the Cardinals are using a right-hander. 1 out and nobody on. 2-strike count. Here comes the pitch. There is a ball. No doubt about it. That was way outside, and it's ball 1 and strike 2. Sportsman's Park is jammed. It's a beautiful sight up here, too, by the way. Flag draped, very colorful. Cooper gets all ready. Here comes the pitch. There's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. He went for it that time. That pitch really fooled him. It really exploded in there around the knees, and it's another strikeout. Martin Cooper's specialty, the old forkball, really exploded in around the knees that time, and you could really see the workings of it. And it is another strikeout. Now, he and Tiny Bonham, who are opposing pitchers in the second game, are great exponents of the use of the forkball, and they say that Cooper's is even better than Bonham's. And Bonham was the boy they always talked about whenever you hear anyone say anything about the forkball, that is up until this series. The right-hand hitter up, and it's Johnson, the third baseman, and the first pitch is wide and low for a ball. Johnson's had 5 for 16 in the series, and there's another one that missed the corner. Outside, it's ball 2. New York Yankees, possessors of a handsome lead in this 43 World Series. Handsome is right, 3 games to 1. Are sending their ace and one of the game's great pitchers today, Spud Chandler against Morton Cooper. There is a high foul. It is going to be out of play, off to the right. Sanders is chasing the ball, but it goes into the first row of the box seats, down the right field line, just about 50 feet past first base, and it's a ball 2, strike 1 count. Morton Cooper and Walker Cooper, the St. Louis battery. Garms playing left field, Johnny Hopp playing center field, and Stan Musial playing right field. In other words, they have lots of left-hand power in that lineup today against Spud Chandler. Ball 2 and strike 1. Here's the next pitch. There's a swing and a vicious swing and a foul. It goes back into the wire, and it's a ball 2, strike 2 count. Garms appeared in the series once as a pinch hitter. This is Hopp's first appearance in the series. Ball 2, strike 2. 2 strikeouts here in the first half of the first inning at St. Louis. Infielders talk it up. Lots of the old fire out there. Now he's getting ready. Big Mort has his sign. Here comes the next pitch. There is a swing and a high foul. It's in the stands down here to the right. Walker Cooper started for the ball. He saw that it was going into the stands. He just made that instinctive motion of moving toward the spot that the ball disappeared, but that was all. 1 step and back behind the plate. Ball 2 and strike 2. Third baseman Bill Johnson batting for New York. Cooper getting all ready. Here it is. There's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Morton Cooper struck out the entire side. Yes, sir, the big Missouri boy. Morton Cooper gets a grand hand as he goes back to the Cardinal dugout. We say dugout, although it's really a bench. They're sitting out in front of the dugout on the bench, so they're right in view of everyone in the park. But Cooper struck out the entire side, and Johnson took a vicious cut at that last one. It was a waist-high curveball over the inside corner, inside to a right-hand hitter, and it really had him completely fooled. So it's 3 up and 3 down. If you're keeping a scorecard, credit Cooper with 3 strikeouts. And now the Yankees are on the field, and as I look down from our mutual booth, let me give you the picture. In left field, Keller. In center field, Steinbeck. In right field, Matheny. At first, Etten. Second, Gordon. Short, Vercetti. Third, Johnson. On the mound, Chandler, a right-hander, and the catcher is Bill Dickey. Chandler was the pitcher in the first game of the World Series at New York. The totals on that game were New York, 4 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors. The Cardinals, 2 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors. Bill Dickey taking Chandler's practice throws. He's firing that ball in there. And Lou Klein, the second baseman, is standing to the left of the plate, leaning on the bat, watching Chandler get ready. Umpire Rommel is now getting the whisk broom out, and he's stepping across the plate, and now he's leaning over with his back to the pitcher, and he's cleaning the plate off. The Yankees are scattering to their infield positions. Johnson at third is the last man to hold the ball. He just tossed it to Chandler, and here come the St. Louis Cardinals up for their first turn in the last half of the first inning. The Yankees went down 1-2-3 via the strikeout route in the first. Now let's see what the Cardinals do with Chandler in their half of the inning. Here is the first pitch, and there is a ball. It missed the corner waist high, and it's ball 1. The Yankee outfield is straight away. Nobody on and nobody out here for St. Louis. Chandler leans way over, starts his motion. There's a swing and a bouncing ball off his leg. He may get this man. It's close. He beat it out for a hit. It was a hard smash on the ground back at Chandler. It rolled about 4 feet behind him and 2 feet to his right behind third. But the fact was the ball was hit so hard he didn't know in what direction to look first. And finally, taking a quick view of the whole surroundings, he raced for the ball, picked it up, and fired it. But a fast man, Klein, had the play beaten for his third hit of this World Series. Now here's Garms coming up. Playing left field today for St. Louis in place of Litwater. That's left-handed. That ball was hit on the ground sharply right back at Chandler. He could not handle it. So St. Louis has a man on first base. Chandler getting ready. Here's the pitch. There's an attempted bunt. Foul. Ball rolls on the ground back to the screen, and it's 1 strike on Garms, a red 9 in the back of his white uniform. Manager Southworth, in an attempt to really get these Cardinals back in stride, has made 2 changes in the lineup today. He's put in Hop and Garms, mainly to get some more left-hand power in there against Chandler. Pitcher's ready. Here's the next one. It's very high and very wide. He had shortened his bat, ready to bunt it. Johnson at third had moved in, and the first baseman, Etten, had started to move in on an automatic defensive play on a bunt. The outfield is just 2 or 3 steps to the right. No score. The number 5 game of the World Series from St. Louis. We hope that you're enjoying every play. There's a bunt. Beautiful. Down the third baseline. The player's got to be at first. And he is out on a very close play. And was that close? The play going from Johnson to Etten. And that was one of the real close plays of the series. Beans Reardon right over the play. Waved immediately out. Garms started to say something, but he didn't. But it was an awfully close play. A man on second base. And here is Stan Musial coming up with a chance to drive in a run. That was a beautiful bunt by Garms, and he almost beat it out. Here's Musial. He's had 5 for 15 in the series. He bats left-handed, and he's up in there now with a chance to drive in a run. Sportsman's Park seems noisier to me today than it did in yesterday's game. Seems to be much more noise in the stands. Everyone quite expectant and noisy. And on second now in the last half of the first inning, Spud Chandler on the mound. Here's the pitch to Stan, and there is a pitch that's inside close, keeping it in on the handle, and it's a ball. It's kind of... This fellow, Musial, is not, for a left-hand hitter with an average of 360, is not a fellow who pulls consistently. He's have to slash that ball to left or center or right. And on second, Musial batting. Here's the pitch. There's one very wide for ball 2. The Yankees talk it up in the infield. Etten at first, Gordon at second, Vercetti at short, Johnson at third as we look down on the field from our mutual booth. It's the 5th game of the World Series, and we're still in the first inning. Hope that you're right around your radio, all set to listen to every play today. Getting all set now. Here's the next one to Musial. Musial takes a vicious cut at a very sharp breaking ball in around the waist, and he foul tipped it. It goes back to the wire, and Dickey gets a new baseball from umpire Rommel. League presidents, Ford Frick of the National League, Mr. Will Harridge of the American League, Judge Landis seated down here below us. Chandler has his glove off, number 21 on the back of his uniform as he looks out towards center field. Now he's turning around. Here is Stan Musial up at the plate, a left-hand hitter. Here comes the pitch, and there is a ball. It broke outside. A lot of wrist action in that particular pitch, and it's ball 3. Next man due to come up for St. Louis will be the catcher, Walker Cooper. Morton Cooper is on the mound for St. Louis today, and in the first half of this inning, he struck out 3 Yankees. He struck out the side. Just a note for those of you somewhere across the country or someplace around the world who might be tuning in late. Cardinals have a scoring chance in the first inning. Chandler getting all ready. Here's the pitch, and there is a viciously hit foul, a liner into the box seats down the left field line. And no one even wanted to touch that souvenir until it had bounced 4 or 5 times. There was one thought, get out of the way. It went in there like it was hit out of a cannon. Ball 3 and strike 2 on Stan Musial, the man on second base for St. Louis. We're in the first inning in this number 5 game of the World Series. 2 great right-handers on the mound today. Here comes the pitch. There is ball 4, no doubt about it. Missed the plate by 1.5 feet. There was no doubt about that being ball 4. It was high and it was very far outside, and I'd say that Bill Dickey reached out at least 1.5 feet for the ball. Here's Walker Cooper, the catcher, coming up. He's had 4 for 15 in the series, but he hasn't got, as yet, what the Cardinals have been looking for from him, some extra base hits. Redbirds started this series, looked to the bats of Walker Cooper, Musial, and Walker for some of that extra base power. Now they have runners on first and second here in the first inning. 1 out. Chandler getting all set. Here's the pitch, and there is a strike. It's called right in across the knees. That pitch coming inside broke away from a right-hand hitter, a nice, sharp, fast curve. Walker started to step back, and as he did so, the ball broke right on the corner, and it's a called strike. Umpire Rommel of the American League back at the plate. Here comes the next pitch. There's a swing. He got a piece of that ball and fouled it on the ground to the right. And now it's 2 strikes, and Chandler has Cooper very much in the hole. Pitcher has much the advantage of the situation as it stands now. He can afford to gamble. He can afford to guess. He's really got this batter in the hot seat. 2 strikes, no balls called. Man on first, man on second, 1 out. That's the picture in the last half of the first inning at St. Louis. Johnson playing the hitter close to the third baseline at third base. There is a ball into the dirt. Dickey went down for that one, and it's ball 1 and strike 2. It's 1 and 2 for Walker Cooper, as the Cardinals, fighting hard to get back into the series, are trying hard to get out in front in the first inning off of Chandler and to give Big Mort Cooper a lead. Chandler getting all set. Runners on first and second. Here's the pitch, and there's a high bouncing ball, maybe a double play to Cressetti over to second, out, back over to first, and it's safe at first. No double play. The play went from Cressetti to Gordon to Etten. It's out at second base. Musial is forced at second, but the batter had the play beaten by a step at first base, and so the Cardinals have runners on first and third with 2 gone. Now here's Karofsky, third baseman. He's had 2 for 14 in the series. In New York, he hit a couple of balls hard for hits. 1 sharp single in the center field that drove in a run, and another hard double down the left field line in New York. Yesterday, he had a long fly ball to the left field fence, but it was caught. Runners on first and third. Here's the pitch. Karofsky swings. There's a bouncing ball to Johnson at third. Pick up. There goes the peg, and he is out at first to retire the side. And so the St. Louis opportunity here in the first inning has gone glimmering, as have many other scoring opportunities in this World Series, and runners are left on first and third. It's no runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, and no score in the number 5 game of the World Series at the end of the first inning. Come in, Red.
Friends, when there's a simple, easy way to lick a tough job quickly, you like to know about it. So I want to put you next to Gillette Lava Shaving Cream. Bill Johnson, Deb Gomes, and plenty of other Yankee and Cardinal players would tell you it's the most thoroughgoing beard softener they ever used. Also, it makes shaving lots more enjoyable. You see, this cream produces a sponge-like lather that holds a barrel of water and keeps your whiskers thoroughly saturated while you're shaving. That means quicker shaves, smoother and better-looking ones, and extra comfort, too. Try Gillette Lava Shaving Cream. Today's World Series game is being broadcast to our troops overseas. Army regulations forbid mention of the sponsor's name. For that reason, and to make this broadcast honorable as possible, Gillette gladly refrained from mentioning the company or its products at any time during the course of the game except between innings. These brief commercials are deleted by the shortwave monitor. All right, Bob?
Now this is Bob Elson talking to you again from Sportsman's Park. The first man to bat for the Yankees is going to be Charlie Keller, the famed left fielder and strong man of the Yankee ensemble. He's up in there batting left-handed, and Morton Cooper is all ready. Here's the first pitch to Keller, and he takes one, a nice slow curveball around his knees for a called strike. Big Morton Cooper, the big guy who defies all superstition with 13 on his back, is out there on the mound for the Redbirds. Nobody on and nobody out in the first half of the second. He's all ready. Here's the pitch. There's a mighty swing and a miss. Waist high, foul tipped that ball, and it's 2 strikes. Mort Cooper, a right-hander, on the mound for St. Louis. The outfield is swung a step or two to the right. Keller in the batter's box. Here he is right below us, waving that big bat around. Boy, he even looks dangerous. Gets all ready. Here comes the pitch. There's one. Strike 3. He struck him out. A curveball in on the handle, and that is 4 strikeouts in a row. Charlie Keller was called out on strikes. Now here's the catcher, Bill Dickey, up. Dickey's had 4 for 14 in the series. Had a sharp hit yesterday that drove in a run. He's batting with 1 out and nobody on, and Mort Cooper has that strikeout ball of his really working out there today. Here comes the first pitch, and Dickey swings and misses. Fastball up around the shoulders, and it's 1 strike. That's 4 strikeouts in a row. Cooper has struck out everyone who's faced him so far in this number 5 game of the World Series. There's the drone of an airplane overhead. Cooper getting all ready again. Here's the next pitch, and there's a ball. It's in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Ball 1 and strike 1. 34,000 capacity crowd here today. The infield on the right side for St. Louis is playing very deep. Bill's not so fast anymore, and the infielders can afford to back up. Ball 1 and strike 1 for Dickey. Here's the next pitch. There's a swing and a miss. Curveball right in around the waist, and it's ball 1 and strike 2. 1 and 2. Dickey walks out of the batter's box, pounds the business end of the bat on the dirt, steps back up in there again. Here he is right below us, number 8 on the back of his gray uniform. Here comes the pitch. There is a high foul fly, short distance down the left field line. It may get away. It goes into the stands. The third baseman, Karofsky, made a nice try for the ball, running about 150 feet down the third baseline and over to the railing for that ball, but he could not get to it, and it's ball 1 and strike 2. Umpire Bill Stewart followed him right over to the railing. These umpires, on top of every play, have done a grand job in this World Series. And the count on Dickey is ball 1 and strike 2. The outfield is straight away. Cooper's getting all ready. Here comes the next pitch. There is strike 3. He struck him out. 5 in a row for Morton Cooper. He did not swing. It was the 4th ball in around his knees, and he was called out on strikes. So that is 5 strikeouts in a row for Morton Cooper. Talk about your drama in a ball game. This is certainly a sample of it. Here's the first baseman, Etten, up. He's had 1 for 16 in the series. He bats left-handed. Nobody on and 2 out. Morton Cooper getting all ready. Here's the pitch. There's a ball. It's up around his eyes, and it's ball 1. Uncovered bleacher section in left field, uncovered in center field, and a bleacher section which is covered, so they call it a pavilion in right field. It's a single-decked affair. He's getting set. Here's the next one. There's a ball. It's high outside, and it's ball 2. Morton Cooper has 5 strikeouts in succession. Cardinals talk it up out there. The Cardinals had a grand scoring chance in the first inning, but did not cash in on it. They had runners on first and second with 1 out, runners on first and third with 2 out. There is a ball. It's shoulder high and a bit outside, and it's ball 3. So the count on Big Nick Etten, the Yankee first baseman, has been run now to 3-0. Cooper's getting all set. Here comes the pitch, and there is ball 4. No doubt about it. A foot outside, knee high, and Etten is the first Yankee to reach on a base on balls. Here's the second baseman, Joe Gordon, who has 4 for 15 in the series. Left fielder, Garms, backs up about 10 feet, playing him near the wall in left field. The center fielder, Johnny Hopp, is moving just a bit toward left field, just a little bit off the line. And Musial is just practically set out there in right field. Here is a fastball that's inside and very high to Gordon, and it's ball one. Just turned his shoulder away from the pitch, and it's ball one for Gordon. Runner on first base, and 2 out in the first half of the second. 2 strong-armed right-handers on the mound, Morton Cooper and Chandler. Here is a foul that goes back into the wire, runs up the screen here to our left, and it's 1-1. It's a ball 1 and strike 1 count on Gordon, who's played outstanding ball in the series. He's had 4 hits, including a home run, and has played sensationally in the field. Runner on first base. The count is ball 1 and strike 1. Mort Cooper gets a sign. No windup. Men on first. There's a swing, and there's a high foul. It's out of play. It's going into the stands here to our left. And it's ball 1 and strike 2. Walker Cooper gets a new baseball from umpire Ramo. Rifles it down to Karofsky, who now throws it to Marion, who returns it to Karofsky, who is now whipping the ball over to the pitcher. Klein out at second base is kicking the dirt around. Sanders at first base is playing right on the bag. There's a base runner over there. It's Etten who walked. There's 2 out, and a count of ball 1 and strike 2 on Gordon. Cooper getting all set. Here comes the pitch. It's a ball. It's in a little bit too close. Waist high, and it's 2-2. Ball 2 and strike 2. Cooper takes a lot of time. He's not working hurriedly at all. He's very deliberate. Here comes the next pitch. It's a ball, a peg to first, and the ball gets away from Sanders. It's going into right field, and Etten is going to stop at second base. There's going to be an error on the play, naturally, which gives the runner the base. It's on the throw. It's charged to Walker Cooper. An error charged to Walker Cooper that moves Etten to second base. That is the 10th error in the series for the Cardinals. 10 errors in the series. And now here's manager Southworth coming out to talk to Morton Cooper. Count is ball 3 and strike 2. Cooper fired the ball to first base and threw badly. And he is charged with his second throwing error of the series. He had one in New York, throwing to second base. Ball 3, strike 2. And on second base and 2 out, a scoring chance here for the Yankees. And there's a smash on the ground to Karofsky. Knocks it down. There's a peg to first, and he is out to retire the side. Boy, that was dangerously close to a base hit to Karofsky's left. He reached out and snagged that ball, knocked it down, picked it up, and threw him out, leaving the base runner on second base. And the totals for the inning are no runs, no hits, and 1 walk. And that is the end of the first half of the second.
When you're laying your money on the line, it always pays to be a stickler for quality. And if you're buying razor blades, it pays double to get Gillette Blue Blades. As Mort Cooper puts it, the big fella just came within 1 strikeout of a World Series record. As he puts it, they are tops for shaving comfort and durability, too. These sharper, longer-lasting blades are produced by the same skilled craftsmen who built your Gillette razor. That means they're made to the closest limits of accuracy known in the industry and fit your Gillette razor precisely, protecting you from the scrape and pull of misfit blades. For the slickest shaves ever, smooth, good-looking shaves that really rate, today's Gillette Blue Blade simply has no equal.
Now we're going into the last half of the second inning, and Bill's come over here with some figures. Bill Coram, on the 5 strikeouts of Morton Cooper, Carl Hubbell did the same thing against Washington in 1933. And in the World Series of 1919, Hod Eller of Cincinnati against the White Sox had 6 strikeouts in a row. Thanks, Bill. That's a very interesting note. Now here's Sanders coming to bat. That's left-handed. He's facing Chandler. No score. 5th game of the World Series. Chandler getting all ready. Here's the pitch, and Sanders takes, and it's in close on the handle for ball 1. Sanders steps back. He's had 4 for 14 in the series, including a home run. Nobody on and nobody out. Here comes the pitch, and there's a smash on the ground. A base hit to right field on the ground. Took a hold of a knee-high pitch and slapped it into right field. I should say he slashed it into right field because that ball really was cut at, and it's a base hit. That is the second hit off of Chandler. It is Sanders' 5th hit of the series. The man on first base, and here is Johnny Hopp coming up for the first time in the series. Hopp played first base for St. Louis in the World Series. In the 5 games last year, Hopp was playing first base. He's now making his first appearance in this World Series of 43, and there's a ground ball to the pitcher. The play is going to be at second base. It's out, and then Gordon drops the ball, and it's called safe. Gordon is safe all around. The umpire at second base says that Gordon never really had possession of the ball, and it is safe all around. There's going to be an error on that play. Let's wait and see how the official scorer scores it. It'll be charged, I'm sure, to Gordon. The Yankees have all gathered around the umpire. Joe Rue at second base. Manager McCarthy has made his first appearance on the playing field in this series. And the Cardinals have runners on first and second. We called that play exactly. It was a smash back at the pitcher who turned and threw it to Gordon. Gordon at second base grabbed it and started to fire it and dropped it. And the umpire reversed himself and said safe all around. The error is charged to Gordon. And that is the Yankees' 4th error in the series against 10 for the Cardinals. What looked like was going to be a double play ball, fans, turned out to result in an error to Gordon, and the Cardinals have runners on first and second, and 9 Yankees have gathered around the umpire at second base, including Joe McCarthy. The Yankees are undoubtedly claiming to the umpire that the play at second base had already been finished when Gordon had grabbed the ball and the base runner there had been waved out. The umpire, however, says no. Man on first, a man on second, and Marty Marion is coming up, and McCarthy is now at first base talking to umpire Reardon. Man on first, a man on second for St. Louis. No one out. That was certainly a break for the Cardinals. Man on first, a man on second on that play. And now here's Marty Marion up. He bats right-handed. Here's the pitch, and there is a ball. A throw to second base, and he was almost picked off out there. Very nearly picked off. It was a very, very close play. Sanders just got back in time, and Dickey almost had him picked off a second. When the throw left home plate, it looked like he was going to get him. He had such a long lead off, and they called for the pitch out and very nearly picked him off the bag. In that play at second base of Chandler, charged the error to Cressetti, who handled the ball at second in place of Gordon. They were both moving over there, and Frankie Cressetti handled the ball, so charged the error to Cressetti. Man on first, a man on second. Marty Marion batting. Here's a bunt down the first base line. Etten picks the ball up. The play is at first base, and it's a sacrifice. He is out at first, and the Cardinals have runners on second and third. It was a beautiful bunt down the first base line, about 20 feet. It was handled by Etten, who was playing in on the play. He turned and fired the ball to first base to Gordon, who shifted over to cover on the sacrifice. So there's a man on first, a man on second, a man on third, and Cooper is coming up. To start this inning, Sanders hit safely, remember, a single, and then Hopp was safe on an error out of second base. As Chandler tried for a double play, Cressetti dropped the ball out there, and there's a man on second and a man on third for the Cardinals by virtue of a sacrifice by Marty Marion. The Yankee infield is playing in, and Morton Cooper is up. Here's the pitch, and there's one very wide for a ball. Cressetti at short, Johnson at third, Gordon at second, Etten at first. They're all playing way in, almost in the edge of the grass, and Cooper is batting. Number 13 on the back of his uniform. Chandler out there trying to get out of another jam he did in the first inning, and there is a strike. It's right in over the inside corner, above the knees it's called, and it's 1-1. You remember, fans, in the first inning, St. Louis had runners on first and second with 1 out, runners on first and third with 2 out, all that and failed to score. Now they have a man on second, a man on third with 1 out, and the pitcher up. Count is 1-1. Chandler's getting all ready. Here's the next pitch. Cooper started to swing, stopped. It's called a strike anyway, and it's ball 1 and strike 2. The Cardinals have just not been able to cash in on scoring opportunities in this 43 series. They just have not been able to come through with hits when they'd mean something. Chandler taking a lot of time. He's worked up a 1-2 count on Cooper. Now he's getting all ready. Here's the pitch, and there's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Cooper went for one right in around his knees and struck out. That is Chandler's first strikeout, and here is Klein coming up, the leadoff man. Klein had a couple of chances in yesterday's ball game to come through, and it would really help. But the little fellow just couldn't get those hits yesterday when it would help. Now he's presented with an opportunity today with a man on second and a man on third, and 2 gone. Chandler getting set. Here's the first pitch, and there is a mighty swing and a miss, and he missed that ball by a half a foot. There's a change-up on that, a curveball, slow on the outside, waist high. Chandler working hard, working with his usual cunning out there on the mound. It's made him a 20-game winner against 4 losses for the Yankees. He's getting all set again. Here comes the next pitch to Klein. Klein swings. There's a fly ball to right field. It should be caught. Looks like an easy chance for Matheny. He's under the ball and has it to retire the side. And so St. Louis has failed to cash in on another scoring opportunity, and runners are left on second and third at the end of the second inning. The totals are no runs and 1 hit and 1 error in the inning. And there is no score in this ball game, the number 5 game of the World Series, at the end of 2 innings of play. We're going to pause briefly now for station identification. This is Mutual.
WOR New York, the Mutual station broadcasting all sports all year round.
Now this is Bob Elson talking to you again from Sportsman's Park in St. Louis with the Cardinals on the field and the Yankees coming to bat to start the third. The first man to come up is going to be the center fielder, Steinbeck. Steinbeck has had 2 for 14 in the series. He bats right-handed. Going into the first half of the third, there's no score in the ball game. Time is called while a couple of refreshment vendors are told to get off the playing field. They're out along the wall again as they were yesterday. Now Steinbeck, 16 on the back of his uniform, is stepping into the batter's box. And we're ready to start the third inning here at St. Louis with no score. Cooper getting ready. Here's the pitch, and there's a ball. Waist high and wide for ball 1. Earl Combs coaching at first. Artie Fletcher coaching at third. The Cardinals have had 2 scoring chances and failed to cash in. It's all set. Here's the pitch, and there's a fastball right down the middle, just as straight as a string for a called strike. 1-1. Cooper's getting all set again. Here's the next pitch, and there's a swing and a bouncing ball to Sanders. He's up with it. There's the run to the bag. He's out. Sanders makes the play unassisted, and the Cardinals fire that ball around. Boys fire the ball around the infield, and they back up. Karofsky at third, Marion at short, Klein at second, Saunders at first. And now here's the pitcher, Spurgeon Chandler, coming out to the plate, getting a hand. Chandler was the winner of the first game of the series at New York, 4-2. He beat Lanier, you remember. Mort Cooper was the winner of the second game. He beat Bonham, 4-3. Here's Chandler batting right-handed. 1 out and nobody on in the first half of the third. Cooper's getting ready. Here's the pitch. There is a fastball that backed him up. Ball 1, in very close. Hop playing center field. Garms playing left field, and Musial playing right field. Cooper's ready. Here's the next pitch, and there is a ball. It missed the corner by an inch, waist high on the outside, and it's ball 2. Morton Cooper opposing Chandler, 2 powerful right-handers, 2 great right-handers on the mound in this 5th game of the series, and there is a swing and a miss at a fastball knee high. Chandler missed that ball plenty. He went around like a top, and it's ball 2 and strike 1. Chandler steps back in again, waves that bat around. Mort Cooper looks down at his brother Walker, getting his sign. The Redbirds talk it up in the infield. Here it is. It's a swing and a high bouncing ball. Maybe foul. It is foul. And Cooper comes all the way over from the mound, across the foul line, into foul territory to pick that ball up. And now it is a 2-2 count on Chandler. Ball 2 and strike 2 for Chandler. Batting for the Yankees in the first half of the third with 1 out. No score in the ball game. Cooper as yet has not been touched for a hit. Chandler has given 2 hits. Cooper has 5 strikeouts. Ball 2, strike 2. Here comes the pitch. There's a swing and a foul. It bounces off the umpire's mask. Umpire Ramo back at the plate today. Walker Cooper gets a new baseball for his brother now. Takes his glove off, smooths the ball around in his hands, walks out in front of the plate, tosses it back to Mort, says something to him. And now he's back in a crouch back of the hitter. It's Chandler. Nobody on the bases, 1 out. Gets his sign, shakes his head, has the sign he wants. Ball 2, strike 2, here it is. He struck him out. He went for a curveball up across the letters, and he becomes strikeout victim number 6. So that's 2 gone, fans, in the first half of the third. Mort Cooper, who up until the second game of the World Series had no luck at all against American League competition and World Series or All-Star games, came through with a win, and he's doing handsomely out here today. Here's Cressetti up, the leadoff man. He was a strikeout victim the first time up. Here's the pitch, and Frankie gets his head away from a floater that's high and inside, and it's ball 1. The Cardinals have made 2 hits off of Chandler. The Yankees have made no hits off of Cooper. Big Mort is ready. Here comes the pitch. There is a swing and a low fly ball to center field. Hop coming fast. Cannot get it. It's a base hit. It drops in front of him, and Frankie Cressetti is credited with the first Yankee hit off of Cooper in the 5th game of the World Series. A low into center field. Hop started to race in, played the ball safely, and it's a base hit. That's 5 hits in 16 tries for Cressetti in the series. Now here's the right fielder Matheny up. That's left-handed. There is a strike over the outside corner, knee high. It's called. Matheny is playing right field for New York today in place of Lindell. Cressetti on first base. Cooper watches him over the shoulder. Here comes the pitch to Matheny. He takes a vicious swing at a fastball and misses. 2 strikes. Matheny really went for the works that time. That was a vicious cut. And he missed it for strike 2. He was a strikeout victim the first time up. Man on first and 2 out, 3rd inning. Mort Cooper getting all set. Here comes the next pitch. There's a hard hit ball in the left center field. It's a hit, a single at least. A nice play on the ball out there. And here's the throw into the infield. And there are runners on first and 3rd. Cressetti kept on going around to 3rd. And Garms made a nice pickup of that ball that was hit very viciously. He was going towards center field, and he was out of position to fire that ball into 3rd base, so the runner kept right on going around to 3rd. It's a base hit, and the Yankees have runners on first and 3rd, and Johnson coming up. That was hit number 2 off of Cooper. Man on first, a man on 3rd, and Johnson up. He's had 5 for 17 in the series. There's a swing and a foul. It's up into the stands to the right, and it's a foul, strike 1. Man on first, a man on 3rd. Cooper getting all set. Here's the next pitch to Bill. He hits an infield fly. The 3rd baseman, Karosky, is calling for the ball, and he takes it. Karosky went to his left in front of the shortstop position at the edge of the infield grass to take that infield fly ball and to retire the side, and runners are left on first and 3rd, and the totals are no runs and 2 hits. And that ends the first half of the 3rd inning. The 5th game of the World Series is going into the last half of the 3rd inning with the Yankees on the field. The Cardinals coming to bat. The left fielder Garms is going to be up first. He laid down a sacrifice in his first appearance in the first inning to move Klein along. Klein had an infield hit off of Chandler's leg. And now here's Debbie up for the 2nd time in the ball game. This fellow was the leading hitter in the league not so many years ago with the Pirates. Chandler getting all set. Here's the first pitch to Garms, and it's almost in the dirt. Ball 1. Nobody on and nobody out, no score. The number 5 game of the World Series is St. Louis. Chandler and Cooper. Garms led the league in 1940. He's all set. Here comes the pitch, and there is a strike. It's perfect. Right in across his knees. It's called, and it's 1-1. Ball 1, strike 1. Mike Gonzalez coaching at first for St. Louis, and Southworth down at third. Pitcher getting all set again. Here's the next one. There is a ball. It missed the corner by an inch at the knee, and it's ball 2. The Cardinals are fighting hard to get back into this series, and the Yankees are just as determined to try to end it today at 5 ball games. Seemed to be an air of confidence on that St. Louis bench today. The boys weren't at all downcast before the game, all figuring that today is our day. Here comes the pitch, and Garm swings. It's a high bouncing ball to Gordon. He has it. There goes the peg. He's out. The play going from Gordon to Etten, and there's 1 goal, and the Yankees fired around. Here's Musial. He walked the first time up. Stepping into the batter's box. 1 out and nobody on in the last half of the third, and a 0-0 ball game. The Cardinals have 2 hits. The Yankees have 2 hits. Chandler ready. Here's the pitch, and it's perfect. Bullseye right down the middle. It's a called strike. That's left-handed, but the center fielder is playing him just a shade to left field. They don't play him to pull. Here comes the pitch, and there's a mighty swing and a mighty miss. Beautiful, sharp, fast curve in there around the knees, and Musial swung and missed. Chandler leans forward on that right foot. Now he scrapes it across the pitching rubber. Gets it all smooth to his liking. He has a 2-strike count on Musial. Here comes the pitch, and there's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Musial went with a sort of a choppy swing for a fast one on the corner, knee-high, and missed, and he struck out and becomes strikeout victim number 2 for Spud Chandler. Here's the catcher, Walker Cooper. Hit into a force play, short to second the first time up. Fastball, missed the corner knee-high. It's ball 1. Chandler, working very leisurely out there in the center of the diamond, is again scraping his right foot across the pitching rubber. He's retired 2 Cardinals here in the last half of the third. There's no score in the ball game. There's one outside, knee-high for ball 2. It's 0-0. In case you're just tuning in to the ball game at St. Louis, it's 0-0 at St. Louis in the last half of the third in the 5th game of the World Series. Chandler against Cooper. There is a strike. He caught the corner that time with a nice pitch, and it's ball 2 and strike 1. Called. Chandler getting all ready out there again. Here comes the next pitch to Cooper. Cooper swings, and there is a smash or a hit down the left field line. Looks like it's just going to be a single. Keller coming in fast. He's flying for second base. The peg. He is out at second base on a perfect throw. Walker Cooper tried to stretch his single to left field into a double and was out at second base on a perfect throw from Charlie Keller on a close play to retire the side. If you're keeping a scorecard, credit Walker Cooper with a base hit, and in your mind, credit Charlie Keller with a very, very fine throw. Well, that is the end of 3 innings here at St. Louis. Cooper's sharp single to left field was between the third baseman and the bag on the ground. Keller came fast, grabbed the ball. Cooper kept right on going, and he threw him out at second base on a perfect peg and on a very close play. Now, fans, we're going into the first half of the 4th inning of this ball game. Whether you're listening in California, Chicago, New York, Maine, Florida, wherever you happen to be listening, we hope that you're enjoying every single play. The Cardinals out there in the field pegging the ball around. That's 3 hits off of Chandler, 2 hits off of Cooper. The outfielders are getting all set. Hop in center field, Musial in right field, Garms in left field. The infielders are Sanders at first, Klein at second, Marion at short, Borowski at third. The first man to bat for New York will be Keller, who was a strikeout victim the first time up. Has 3 for 16 in the series, and he's stepping up in there now, taking that wide, feet-apart stance of his down in there. Just digs in, and Mort Cooper is getting his sign. Here it is. It's a slow curve that just missed the corner. Cooper has a most deceptive pitching motion out there. It looked for all as though that was going to be a fastball when he was getting set to deliver that ball. But he pulled up on it, and it came in as a slow curve ball that missed being a strike. Here comes the pitch, and there is a very high fly ball in short left field that Marty Marion is back for. He's under it. He has it. Call the out. One gone. Now here's Dickey. Bill Dickey stepping into the batter's box with one out here. Well, here's a great ball player and a great fellow. Everyone wishes that Mr. Dickey's active playing career could go on for another 20 or 25 years. Left-hand hitter, he's up in there now watching Morton Cooper. Cooper getting all set. Here comes the pitch, and there's one very high and very wide, a ball. Ball one. One out, nobody on. First half of the fourth inning. Chandler against Cooper. It's anybody's ball game. It's 0-0, nothing. The outfield of the Cardinals is straight away. Here comes the pitch. There is a strike. It's perfect. It caught the corner. Knee high. Nice pitch, and it's 1-1. Hop is playing center field for St. Louis. Garms is playing left field. Musial's in right field. Getting all set out there again. Now the windup. Here comes the next pitch. Dickey swings. There's a bouncing ball at Marion. He's up with it. There goes the peg. He's out at first. The play from Marion to Sanders, and the Cardinals peg it around. Now the next man to come up for New York is walking into the batter's box on the right side. It's Nick Etten. Leaning over now, getting a little dirt on his hands. Number 5 in the back of his gray uniform. Now he taps his spikes with the heavy end of the bat. He walked the first time up today. Previously had gone 1 for 16 in the series. There's one outside and high for a ball. Nobody on. 2 out. First half of the fourth inning. A pitcher's duel, and what a duel between Cooper and Chandler. Previous game winners in this series. Here comes the pitch, and there's a fastball outside at the waist, and it's ball 2. Both these pitchers are winners. Cooper was winner in game number 2. Chandler was winner in game number 1. And they're pitted against each other in this all-crucial number 5 game of the World Series at St. Louis. Here comes the pitch. He swings, and there is a high foul. The third baseman has a good chance on this ball. He's going to his right. He should get it. He does get it. And it retires the side. Cooper went 20... The third baseman, Koroski, went 25 feet to his right, outside of third base to take that high foul fly, and it retires the side. In the first half of the fourth inning, it's 3 up and 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors. No score in the ball game. Come in red.
Johnny Hop, Bud Matheny, and others, certainly too many of the Cardinals and the Yankees to mention right now, use Gillette Lather shaving cream. And friends, when you prepare your beard with Gillette Lather shaving cream, then ease through it with the Gillette Blue Blade, you get the slickest shaves in the book. Gillette chemists experimented years before developing this faster-acting, more economical beard softener. Hundreds of formulas were made and tested, and what a cream it is. It produces up to 4 times as much lather as most popular brands. Better still, it makes a sponge-like lather that holds lots of water and releases it freely, soaking, saturating, and softening tough, wiry beard as fast as a jitterbug. And personally, just let me point out to you, fellas, the aftershave feel of your face for hours afterward. Your skin remains soft and pliable. Men, you'll never know what shaving luxury is like until you use this happy combination. Gillette Lather shaving cream to soften tough beard, the Gillette Blue Blade to whisk it away. Now we're going into the last half of the fourth inning. This is Bob Elson talking to you again from Sportsman's Park in St. Louis. Chandler's getting all ready to pitch to Whitey Koroski, number 1 in the back of his uniform. It's a 0-0 ball game, fans. It's plenty tense here, as I'm sure I don't have to tell you. And it's anybody's game. There's a bunt down the third baseline. Johnson coming fast. There goes the peg. He beat it out. Whitey Koroski just beat out a bunt down the third baseline. Well, the fourth hit off of Chandler, and it brings up the first baseman Sanders, who singled the first time up. I hope that you're all enjoying every play of this ball game, especially all our servicemen in all parts of the world. I hope they're enjoying every play. Their being where they are is making it possible for 130 million people to enjoy these ball games here in the United States. Man on first base, Sanders up. He bats left-handed. Chandler on the mound. That was the 4th hit for St. Louis. Koroski edging off of first base. Sanders up, batting left-handed. Here's the pitch. It's very wide for a ball.
Borowski really caught them flat-footed that time. The bunt was laid between the mound and third base. Chandler started to go for the ball first, but Johnson evidently hollered, and Chandler stepped out of the way, let Johnson field it. He did it perfectly, but just couldn't reach him. There's a ball very high and wide, and it's ball 2. Chandler is keeping that ball high and outside from Saunders, who's proven himself to be a pretty good pull hitter so far in the series. He pulled one into the seats in New York for the home run, and last time up, he slashed one sharply into right field. They're keeping that ball outside on it. Man on first, nobody out. Chandler getting set. Here's the pitch, and there's ball 3 outside in the same spot as far as the zone was concerned, outside, but that was around the waist instead of around the shoulders. So Chandler has worked the count to 3-0. Johnson at third base, playing in a few feet. Runner on first base. It's the St. Louis half of the 4th inning. This pitcher's battle between Cooper and Chandler. There is ball 4, no doubt about it. Missed the plate by 2 feet, knee high. Runners on first and second for St. Louis, and nobody out. And the fans are wondering, how long can the Cardinals go on blowing scoring opportunity? Sooner or later, they've got to cash one. Man on first, a man on second now for St. Louis, and here is Hippity Hoppa. The question is here now, will he bunt, or will he take a crack at it? He'll be followed to the plate by Marion and the pitcher. Here is the pitch, and it's low. It gets away from Dickey, but there's no play. The ball was low, slid out of his glove against his leg pads, and slid behind him just a foot. He pounced on that ball, turned to fire it, and the Cardinals played it safe. Man on first, a man on second. Gordon and Etten are now talking to Chandler. Borowski is out on second base. Sanders is on first base. And Johnny Hopp, making his first appearance in the 43 World Series, is at bat. He was safe on an error by Crissetti the first time up. Chandler gets all ready. Here comes the next pitch. There is one around his eyes for ball 2. Chandler says, "Nix on that. I've had enough of that ball. Give me a new one," which umpire Rommel promptly does. Spud just doesn't like the feel of that particular baseball and is getting rid of it. And Bill Dickey gets another one and takes it out to Chandler. Runners on first and second for St. Louis, and this is their third real scoring opportunity of the day. Man on first, a man on second. Ball 2 count on Hop. Here comes the pitch. There is ball 3. It's in the dirt. Again, the ball got away from Dickey, and again, no advance. That ball was very low. It slid out of Dickey's glove, rolled 2 feet behind him, but the Cardinals, playing it safe, are still at first and second. Man on first, a man on second, and a 3-0 count. No one in the Yankee bullpen. Nobody warming up. This is the St. Louis half of the 4th inning, fans. And now, Winslow, a right-hander, is starting to warm up in the right field bullpen for the Yankees. There is a strike. It's on the corner, knee high, and it's 3-1. Now Winslow has gone back to sit down, and now Atlee Donald has started to warm up for New York. Down in the bullpen, which is way down the right field line to our right. Here is a strike on the corner. Ball 3 and strike 2. They howl out of the stands as Hop starts that automatic move of going to first base with a ball 3 count on him. And the umpire, Ed Rommel, says, "No sirree, Johnny, that was good. It's a ball 3, strike 2 count." Man on first, man on second. Donald had a record of 6-4 during the season. 2 men on. Here's the pitch, and Hop swings and tops that ball. He rolls it foul, and it's ball 3 and strike 2. Borowski led off the inning, the last half of the 4th, by beating out a bunt to Bill Johnson at third. Sanders walked on 4 pitch balls. They're on first and second. And Hop, who was playing in center field for St. Louis in place of Walker, is batting. He was safe on an error the first time up, and he's worked the count up to 3-2. No score in the ball game. No score in the ball game. Number 5 game of the World Series at St. Louis. Here comes the pitch, and there's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Chandler fired a fast curve over the outside corner, waist high, and Hop goes out on strikes. 1 out. Well, that's 3 strikeouts. 3 strikeouts for Chandler, as against 6 strikeouts for Cooper, 5 consecutive. Man on first, a man on second, and here is Slats Marion coming up. Marion is 4 for 11 in the series. He's come through with a couple of very timely blows. He's up there now with teammates on first and second. Karosky on second. Here's the pitch, and there's a high bouncing ball to Cressetti. The play is at second base. It's out over to first base, and it's safe. No double play. Almost a double play. The play going from Cressetti to Gordon to Etten, and boy, how those two lads work out there around second base. Cressetti came in fast on that ball, fired it back to Gordon, a perfect play. Gordon wheeled, whipped that ball over to first base, and now there are runners on first and third, and the pitcher, Morton Cooper, coming up. Man on first, a man on third. Right-hand hitter up at the plate. Pitcher getting all ready out there again. It's Chandler. He's pitched his way practically out of a big jam up here in the fourth inning. There's a swing and a ground ball to Cressetti. A nice stop to take the second to force play, and it retires the side. Cooper hit the first ball pitch viciously at the shortstop. It took a high bounce. Cressetti leaped into the air, whipped that ball over to Gordon. It was turned into a forced out, and it retires the side. And again, Chandler came through with a beautiful pitching performance. The first two men were on safely with a hit and a walk. He pitched his way out of the jam and retired the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, and that is the end of 4 innings of play here in St. Louis, friends, in this number 5 game of the World Series. The score is 0-0. We'll pause briefly now for station identification. This is Mutual. This is WGN, the voice of the people, Chicago. Now this is Bob Elson talking to you again from Sportsman's Park in St. Louis. We're going into the first half of the 5th inning. We're almost at the midway point in the ball game. My colleague and co-worker in many a colorful World Series, Red Barber, he all set to carry you along with his colorful story of the last half of this World Series game. And now we're ready for the first half of the 5th inning, and the first batter for New York, who is the second baseman, Gordon. The first time up, he bounced out to Karosky. Now he's facing Morton Cooper. 0-0 starting the 5th. Wind up in the first pitch, and Gordon swings and bounces one to Karosky. There's the ball going across to first base, and he is out. Karosky to Sanders for the first out. The Cardinals peg it around. Here's the center fielder, Steinbeck. A pitching duel between two giants of the mound, Morton Cooper and Spurgeon Chandler. Two great pitchers. 0-0. First half of the 5th inning. Pitcher's getting all ready. Here it is. Steinbeck takes, and it's a ball. It's outside knee high, and it's ball 1. The Yankees have made 2 hits. The Cardinals have made 4 hits. Right-hand hitter up. Pitcher's getting all set. Here's the next one to Steinbeck. He swings. There's a ground ball through the box. Marion makes a one-hand half stop of the ball. Couldn't hold it. Couldn't come up with it. And it is a base hit. A base hit for Steinbeck. His 3rd hit of the World Series. Man on first. Here's Chandler coming out. Man on first base and 1 out. First half of the 5th inning of the ball game. What a ball game it is, fans, and we hope that you're enjoying every play. Runner on first base. Here's Chandler batting. He was a strikeout victim the first time up. Man on first. Here's the pitch. A bunt. Out in front of the plate. The pitcher handling the ball. The play will be at first. He is out. And Klein had to make a reaching, gloved hand stab of Cooper's high throw. You hear that ooh, that noise through the stands? Well, that was it. That's what occasioned it. It was very close at first base, and Klein just did get over to get it. Man on second base and 2 out. And Cressetti coming up. Cressetti has 5 for 16 in the series. He is plenty dangerous. Frankie Cressetti, who has played great ball at short. Now they're motioning the left fielder, Garms, to move in a bit. Southworth is motioning to Hop in center field to come in. Man on second base. Here is the pitch, and there's a swing and a miss. A fast curve across the letters, and it's 1 strike on Cressetti. Man on second base, 2 out here. First half of the 5th inning. 5th World Series game is 0-0. Morton Cooper against Chandler. Here comes the pitch. There's a swing and a miss. Up around the letters again, and it's 2 strikes. And he is just powering that ball through there now with brute force. Those have been 2 very, very fast curveballs up around the letters that Cressetti has had to look at right under his chin, and he has swung at both of them and missed. Now let's see what he's going to give him for the number 3 effort. Man on second for New York. 2 strikes on Cressetti. Here it is. And he started to swing at that ball, but stopped. The umpire says he did not complete the swing, and it's called a ball. And the ball got away from the catcher. And now let's see. It is not a strike. It's the Cardinals are claiming that was a half strike that should be called a strike on that pitch. But the umpire says no. And the ball got away from the catcher, and the base runner advanced to third. That was a very, very low outside pitch that got away from Cooper, the catcher, rolled at least 20 feet back of the plate, and the base runner advanced to third. It is a wild pitch. Advanced the runner to third base on a wild pitch by Cooper. Southworth also comes out to find out what it was all about, and it certainly did not look like a swing from here, and the umpire says it was not. Cooper looked like he has hurt himself down here, and he's walking away from the plate. He has taken his mask off, but he has not taken his chest protector or shin guards off, and undoubtedly will stay in the ball game. Doc Weaver, the Cardinal trainer, will administer to him over there now, and then he'll be back in the ball game, I'm sure, very quickly. The situation is we're in the 5th inning at St. Louis. It's the first half, the Yankee half. The American League champs possessing a 3-1 edge in ball games played in this 43 World Series. And they're fighting hard to try to end it up in St. Louis today, while the Cardinals are really fighting to get back into the series. And that's just what they do if they win this ball game. They are back. It would make it 3-2. Look, probably if they would win today for Alpha Brazil tomorrow in what would be the 6th game, and probably Bonham. However, the Cardinals must win the ball game today to stay in the running. Here is O'Day coming out replacing Cooper. He undoubtedly hurt his hand more seriously than we could judge from up here, although anything is a guess. You can't tell when the fellow leaves the batter's box or the catching spot just how badly his hand is hurt. And evidently it was found when he got back in there that it was hurt too badly to continue. So Walker Cooper is forced out of the ball game, and Ken O'Day, the second string catcher of the St. Louis Ball Club, is making his first appearance in the 43 World Series. Ken O'Day, bats left-handed, good hitter. Used to be with the Cubs, used to be with the Giants. He's been around the majors for a long time. Good receiver, good hitter. And he is now stepping into the spot vacated by Walker Cooper. O'Day walks out to check signals with Cooper. Now he comes back in behind the plate, and umpire Rommel gets out the whisk broom. Cleans it off. Cooper split his finger on his throwing hand, and we're sorry to say that regardless of how many more games it goes or what happens, Cooper is undoubtedly or probably through for the series. It's a tough break on Big Walker Cooper, the great catcher of the Cardinal Ball Club. Steinbach single after 1 out. Advanced to second on a sacrifice. Advanced to third on a wild pitch. He's on third now. He would like to score the first run of the ball game. Will he or won't he? We'll soon see. Here comes the pitch, and there's a high fly ball back into short left field that Marion is going back for. The left fielder is coming in, and Garms takes it to retire the side. And so Steinbach is left on third, and the totals in the first half of the 5th inning, friends, no runs and 1 hit. And that is the end of 4.5 innings of this number 5 game of the World Series, and the score is 0-0. New York nothing, the Cardinals nothing. Chandler against Cooper as the ball game goes into the last half of the 5th. Well, friends, this is Bob Elson, who's had the pleasure of describing play-by-play the first half of this number 5 game of the World Series here at St. Louis. And it is with customary pleasure that I call in my co-worker that I've had the pleasure of working alongside of so many, many years. I have a great respect for his baseball knowledge and his ability of calling play-by-play baseball in these crucial ball games. And I know that you're going to enjoy Red Barber's colorful description of the last half of the 5th game of the World Series. Red, I'm very glad to turn it over to you. Come in.
Thank you, Bob. The great call you've given us for the first half. Friends, that was Bob Elson
Lieutenant Bob Elson of the United States Naval Reserves, who has been with us here on the broadcast. And, of course, his customary broadcasting fee goes to Army and Navy Relief. Now we're moving into the last of the fifth inning. Chandler, who has been waiting around in hot water all afternoon, but has yet been able to pitch himself out of it. Chandler is ready to face the top of the Cardinal hitting order in the last of the fifth. This is the longest that any World Series this fall has gone without one team scoring. 3 innings had been the farthest heretofore. They had been scoring in the 4th inning previously, at the latest. But now we're going into the last of the fifth. It is no runs, 3 hits and 1 error for the Yankees, no runs, 4 hits and 1 error for the Cardinals. Chandler is facing Lou Klein, who's 1 for 2 today. Led off with a smash single right back off Chandler's glove in the 1st inning. Then hit a fly ball to right field in the 2nd. Right-hand batter, Chandler right-handed delivers. A curve swung on and fouled off over into the Yankee bench. Strike 1. As Bob told you earlier, the dugouts are not being used by the players. Temporary box seats were put up just in front of the stands, and in order for the players to be able to see, they had to have a bench out in front of their dugouts for both teams. Chandler works, curve over nicely for a call, 2nd strike, 0-2. The big story so far today, if you were going for one word again, is pitching. Both these big, strong right-handers, these 2 aces, are trumping each other. Threat after threat, they turn back. There's a hot bounding ball to short. Crizzetti, a backhanded stab. Stop the throw. Out by a hair. Frank Crizzetti playing a magnificent series. Draws a big hand from the fans at St. Louis. That is the fielding play of today. Crizzetti tearing over to his bare right-handed side, over toward third. A backhanded stabbing stop, quickly recovered, and he had no time for a full-arm throw. A snapped wrist, and Klein was out. Short to first, 1 up, 1 gone. The Cardinals have threatened in every inning so far, but have been unable to cash one. There's no score. Deb Gomes, veteran left-hand batter, swings and misses, chopping at a curveball just under his hands. Gomes is one of the few ball players who uses a bat made out of hickory wood. There he is up there with this dark brown piece of lumber. Outfield, step toward right. Debs takes a call, 2nd strike. Chandler gave him a slider right off the hands. He's pitching Debs waist high and inside. No balls, 2 strikes. 1 man out, nobody on, no score. And the pressure is mounting with each pitch, with each passing moment. Chandler delivers a low curve for ball 1. Gomes is very fast. He can really move down that line. Bob pointed out to you, one time was the league batting champion back in 1940 with the Pirates. Chandler pumps vigorously, delivers a big curve that hangs outside, thrown by right-hander to a left-hand hitter. Ball 2. 2-2. After Gomes will come Stan Musial. Deb swings and misses for strike 3 on an outside curve. That's the 2nd out for the last of the 5th inning. That is the 4th strikeout for Chandler. The 10th strikeout in the ball game as Big Cooper has struck out 6. Here's Stan up now. Swings and misses. Severe curve. Chandler is really throwing that ball, seems with more snap and precision and authority than in the earlier stages. Cooper, who started out pitching with everything he had and fanned the first 5, has been easing up somewhat. Musial swings, fouls it off. In other words, Cooper well knew that he could not keep up the tremendous pace that he had begun. But he began that pace deliberately to show the Yankees a thing or two, to also fire his own side and buoy up his own boys. And the Cardinals are battling, braced behind their big right-hander. And the Yankees are braced behind their big right-hander. 2 men out, last of the 5th inning. 2 strikes to Musial, who gets tired of waiting for Chandler and then backs out of the box. Musial has 5 hits, 5 for 16. Digs in, winds up with that wood, then crouches. The pitch, way outside, a fastball. Chandler wasted that one. Musial refused to go after it. When Stan was up his last at bat, he struck out. Went for a pitch almost like that, only was a high outside curve. Chandler, of course, remembering that, but he'd try and set up the same strategy, perhaps, but make it a fastball. 1-2. The throw, swung on and missed. A slider on the outside for strike 3 swinging, and it's the 2nd straight time that Musial has been fanned. It's the 5th strikeout for Chandler. Now at the end of 5 innings, we'll check the totals with you. No runs, 3 hits and 1 error for New York. No runs, 4 hits and 1 error for St. Louis. The Cardinals take to the field, and there's this magnificent right-hander, Mort Cooper, with that 13 boldly emblazoned on the back of his uniform blouse. He wears that 13 by deliberate choice. He's warming up with Ken O'Day, who wears number 16. O'Day, the second string catcher, and now doing his first receiving so far in this series, as Walker Cooper got a finger split on his meat hand in the top of the 5th inning. Now the first pitch to Matheny as we move into the 6th inning. He's on the outside for ball 1. Matheny has 1 for 2, singled sharply his last time up. Outfield, around toward right. They play this fellow to pull. Mort works. Lets up pitches on the knees inside for ball 2. Sort of a half-speed pitch. First man up for the Yankees in the 6th inning, and it is no score. Cooper delivers. Fastball ripped in for a called strike. 2-1. After Matheny, then Johnson, followed by Keller. Mort Cooper pitching to Ken O'Day. Big right-hander delivers high outside for ball 3. He's in the hole now, 3-1. The Cardinal inner defense is as it has been all through the series. Sanders at first base. Klein at second. At shortstop, Marion. And at third, the indomitable Karowski. He has played through a great deal of pain so far in this series, and he's played excellent ball. The outfield. Round toward right. The pitch in there for a called strike, and it is now 3-2. Moving down to the Cardinal bullpen is Max Lanier. Strong arm left-hander, and he is beginning to warm up. There's his first warm-up pitch. There's his second in the bullpen. Cooper on the mound, pitches 3-2. Matheny fouls it into the left field stands. Out of play. Still a 3-2 count. So that is a story in itself. Southworth, of course, is at the spot where he must use nothing but aces. Mort Cooper on the mound, bearing down in a scoreless struggle. In the bullpen, Lanier warming up. He pitched the first 7 innings yesterday. When he left the ball game, it was tied at 1-1. Matheny up, 3-2 the count. Matheny finishing a great rookie year. Cooper delivers. Bud swings. There's a fly ball into short right. Underneath it is Musial waiting, and the right fielder gathers it in for out number 1. Bill Johnson, who's gone 0 for 2, who has 5 hits for 18 official at-bats. Sturdy third baseman, right-hand batter. Johnson standing right off the plate. Most of his teammates call him Willie. Outfield straight away on Bill at the moment. Cooper delivers. Johnson takes a fast call strike. Out goes Eddie Rommel's right hand. Rommel of the American League back of the plate. Reardon of the National at first. Rule of the American at second. Stewart of the National at third. Johnson swings and goes all the way around, missing, and it is strike 2. The umpiring alternates are Pipgrass of the American League and Conlon of the National. A throw, swung on, hit back past the mound to short. Marion up, the throw in time by 5 or 6 steps, and Johnson is out, and it is short to first. Charlie Kellum, lugging a couple of sticks, makes his way up to batter's box, then throws the surplus one away. Crowds that plate from behind, spreads those feet wide apart. 2 men out, nobody on, no score, top of the 6th. Outfield around toward right. Cooper pitches, Keller swings and misses. Ooh, that was fast. We just received additional advice that catcher Cooper has a compound dislocation of the index finger on his right hand from that foul tip off Frank Grissetti's bat, top of the 5th inning. A throw. Keller swings, hits a bounding ball wide of first into right field. It's in for a clean base hit. And Keller, with 2 men out, singles to right, opening up top of the 6th inning. That for Keller is his fourth hit of the series. The Yankees, it is their fourth hit off Mort Cooper. And now the totals are identically exact. No runs, 4 hits, 1 error for each of the two teams. Bill Dickey, who is 0 for 2, steps in. Tall, raw bone, left-hand batter. Playing in his 38th World Series game with the Yankees. That's a record of its kind. Dickey swings. There's a high one going out toward the right field pavilion. It is gone on top of the pavilion roof for a 2-run home run. And Bill Dickey has run his home run home. And it is 2-0 in favor of the Yankees. There was the first crack in the superlative pitching of Big Cooper. Dickey caught hold of one. There was no question when it was struck. The only question was whether it would clear entirely the right field pavilion roof. It dropped in the middle of it. Nick Etten crouches at the plate, a left-hand hitter, and takes a fast called strike. It's 2-0 in favor of the Yankees. And the Cardinals know their task. If they do not erase that lead, they will erase themselves from the series. Etten takes high inside, going down on one knee out of the way of the pitch. Ball 1. Bill Dickey hammered a homer. 2 runs are solidly earned. 2-0, New York. Cooper still bearing down. He doesn't let up. Delivers. Etten takes a sharp curve, high outside. Ball 2. 2-1. Left-hander Lanier keeps toiling away down in the Cardinal bullpen. Sam Narron is warming him up. Art Fletcher back of third. Earl Combs back of first. The Yankee coaches talk it up. Etten crouches at the plate, swings, fouls it off. Now it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Etten moved a little ground. He crowds that plate from behind. Wide open stance. Feet close together. He stands facing the pitcher, in fact, and steps in the general direction of first base. The throw, swung on. There's a line drive hit right at second baseman Klein, who takes it for the out. 2 runs on 2 hits. Nobody left. And at the end of 5.5 innings, it's 2-0 in favor of the Yankees. Now I want to talk about another batter, Stan Musial. Kid's got about as keen a pair of eyes as anybody in the big leagues. He had to have his eye on the ball to hit that 357 this summer. But even Stan would take off his hat to the folks who inspect Gillette blue blades. Yes, sir, and so would you. For these skilled operators do things that are just as dramatic in their way as Musial's hitting. Equipped with special lights, high-powered microscopes, micrometers, every technical facility that you can imagine, these keen-eyed experts make sure that only perfect blades are okayed. 17 separate inspections assure absolutely uniform high quality. With us fans, you can count on today's Gillette Blue Blade, product of skilled craftsmanship, matchless equipment, relentless tests and inspections to give you the best-looking, most comfortable shaves a man can have. We pause now for station identification. This is Mutual.
This is WGN, the voice of the people, Chicago.
Spurgeon Chandler thrown down his last preliminary pitch to Bill Dickey, and the Yankee battery is set. The rest of the Yankee club afield as we move into the last of the 6th inning. Etten at first base, Joe Gordon at second, Frank Crosetti at short, and Bill Johnson is at third. The outfield has Keller in left, in center, Steinbach, and we'll pick up the rest. Here's the first pitch to O'Day, which is over for a called strike. The right fielder for the Yankees is Matheny. O'Day is up for his first time today. Came on catching last inning, and he is appearing at the plate for the second time in the series. He pinch hit back at the stadium and went out. Left-hand batter. Chandler works on the outside. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. They play O'Day to pull. Round toward right. The score is 2-0 in favor of the Yankees. You just joined us. And the scoring was just done. O'Day swings and misses. Chandler goes ahead of him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. With 2 men out in the top of the 6th, Keller drilled a clean single between the first and second baseman, and then Dickey hit the first pitch ball high up on the right field pavilion roof. A home run. 2-0. Chandler pumps twice, pumps 3 times. Delivers. There's a pitch high outside. O'Day almost chased it, but checked himself in time, and it's 2-2. Billy Southworth claps his hands together. Peppery, fiery little fella down at third base. O'Day swings and beats the ball slowly down toward third. Johnson has to hurry, and he can't make the play at all. O'Day beats out a single to third. And the Cardinal fans here at St. Louis, sensing that perhaps the Cardinals are rallying, striking back, now applaud enthusiastically. A dribble single down toward third. By the time Johnson came in to grasp it, he couldn't even make the play to first base. Didn't even try it. Hit number 5 off Chandler. This means the batter is the potential tying run. Here is strong George Kurowski stepping in. 1 for 2. Swings at Wood from the end. Chandler delivers. Kurowski cuts and misses at a high, fast curve. Strike 1. The outfield deep around toward left. Kurowski stands there at the plate. Chandler stands there on the mound. High out in center field. Underneath Old Glory waves the Cardinals' World Championship pennant. The pitch swung on and fouled back into the stands. A pennant that Kurowski had a great deal to do with making possible last year. It was his home run, if you'll recall, in the 5th game of the World Series that provided St. Louis with its World Championship winning margin over the Yankees. And now in the 5th game of this World Series, just a year later, Kurowski standing at the plate, the Yankees lead 2-0. And they lead in the count of games 1, 3-1. And so, stakes are on the table. O'Day crouches, he leads off first. Chandler pitches. Kurowski takes an inside curve. Ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Etten holding the inside corner of first base against the runner. Mike Gonzalez coaching at first. Nobody out. Chandler taking his time. Pounds a new ball down into the pocket of his glove. Blows on the fingers of his right hand, which is a mannerism with him. Now he comes carefully down into position, looks at first, delivers to the plate. There's a bounding ball hit sharp at a short. Cuzzetti up, throws to second, 1 out. Gordon throw to first, double play. 2 men out and nobody on. A solid ground hit ball right at the veteran Frank Cuzzetti, who flipped it over to Joe Gordon, who in turn got it on to Etten. There was daylight ahead of each runner in each bag on the sequence. This is the first double play of Game 5. 2 men out. Nobody on. Ray Sanders, the tall, slender first baseman who has a single and a walk this afternoon, is up. A 10-hitter, outfield toward right. Chandler's fastball is good over the outside and above the knees for a called strike. 2-0. The Yankees leading. The Cardinals at bat in the last of the 6th with 2 out. Chandler set, delivers on the outside, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sanders so far has 5 hits out of 15 official at-bats. He's had a great series. It was his home run in Game 2 that provided the winning margin. Chandler works, and Sanders swinging hits a bounding ball straight to first baseman Etten, who steps on the bag for the unassisted put out. Cardinal threat was silenced. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. It's 2-0, favor the Yankees, and that ends the 6th inning. Come in, Bob.
Fellow fans, it takes coal to keep the hot stove league going. But here's the really important thing. Coal is a war weapon. Without it, war production would halt, and it's scarce. So if you're able-bodied, particularly an experienced miner, you're needed in the coal mines of Colorado, Utah, Wyoming, and Montana. No matter what your present job may be, no matter how essential it is, Uncle Sam wants you to mine in the Northwest. Transportation will be paid to the mine areas where adequate housing is available. Wages are good, a 42-hour week guaranteed. Time and a half for overtime and double time on Sundays. So you experienced miners, and you fellas plenty willing to mine coal if given a chance, go to your nearest United States Employment Service office and volunteer for this well-paying, war-vital job.
This is the old redhead being with you again as we go into the seventh inning. It's the last third of the Yankee hitting list of 9. Gordon, Steinbach, and Chandler. Joe's up there, right-hand hitter. 0 for 2 against Mort Cooper today. Swings on the first pitch and doesn't get a three-quarter speed curveball, breaking down and away. The outfield is swung deep and around toward left on Gordon. Infield is a couple of steps around toward third. The pitch is a slow curve on the outside. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Big Mort takes a lot of deliberation. O'Day stays low, back of the plate for a low target. Right-hander comes down. Gordon swinging, fouls off a low curve. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. O'Day rubbing up the new ball, walks in front of the plate. Now he comes stumping back the platter. Cooper sets the spikes of his right foot right down onto the rubber of pitcher's mound. His left foot half step back of the mound. He sort of rolls when he turns loose those pitches out there. Pumps twice, 3 times, delivers inside, and it is 2-2. Mort looks out toward the scoreboard. Check the count for himself. First man up in the 7th. 2-2 is the count. Gordon pumps that stick. Now cocks it. Goes straight in the air. Takes low outside. 4 ball 3. 3-2. Cooper working carefully. He's taking more and more time as the game goes along. He really didn't waste any time in those first 2 innings. Struck out the first 5. Delivers. Gordon takes high inside. 4 ball 4. Second walk given up for Mort. Base on balls to begin the 7th inning. And Lanier is again throwing in St. Louis's bullpen. George Steinbach, who has 1 for 2, singled his last time up. That was the single down to short. The one that went off Marty Marion's glove. Steinbach crouches and bunts. Down toward first. Sanders is up and makes the play over to first base to second baseman Klein covering. Steinbach sacrifices himself. And thus the Yankees give up 1 out to move Joe Gordon down to second base. That was the first baseman with the second sacker handling that play. So a walk and a bunt. 1 man out. The Yankees threaten in the 7th. They're leading already 2 runs to nothing. And a hand for Chandler. The Yankee pitcher steps in. Right-hand batter. He had 1 hit for 3 at-bats in the first game. He's 0 for 1 today. Mort Cooper struck him out in the 3rd. Chandler bunted successfully, a sacrifice in the 5th. There's a foul back onto the screen. Strike 1. 1 away. Gordon at second. Frank Crissetti is out on deck in the batter circle waiting. Big Cooper in position to look at second. Pitches to the plate. Curve that is low. Ball 1. 1-1. Everything is moving now, you might say, with very deliberate carefulness. Chandler digs in. Takes a curve that is over for a call. Second strike. 1-2. Cooper seems to be pacing himself more and more carefully. Mort ready. Throws. Fastball high inside. That backs Chandler right out of the box. 2-2. 1 man away. Gordon stepping down off second. Big Cooper nods to the sign. O'Day is his catcher. His brother was hurt in the 5th inning. There's a curve swung on, foul right back onto the screen. Still 2-2. New ball in play. Pat O'Doherty, Yankee bat boy, retrieved that foul that came down off the netting a few moments ago. He really got a pleasant surprise. He'd been told that he wouldn't be able to come to St. Louis. Then at the last moment, he was told that he was going to make the trip. Chandler swings, hits a high fly ball, dead into short center. Johnny Hopp comes in under it, waiting. He has it. 2 out. Gordon retreating and holding at second. Frank Crizzetti, who has 1 for 3. Crizzetti singled in the 3rd inning, and that was the first of the 5 hits off Mort Cooper. Crizzetti has 5 hits so far out of 17 official at-bats. Digs in over the plate. Chokes that bat severely. Takes a quick curve that's over. Strike 1. Gordon ready to go on anything with 2 out. Steps down off second. The Yankees lead 2-0. Dickey homered after Keller had singled with 2 out in the 6th inning. Cooper comes down. Crizzetti swings, beats the ball wide of third. Karowski has it. The throw is to first base in time for the 3rd out. Now the thousands at Sportsman's Park, St. Louis. This is the Cardinal hometown crowd are rising and standing and letting go. The last third of the St. Louis batting order of 9 coming in for the last of the 7th inning. It is 2-0 in favor of the Yankees. The Yankees who need 1 game to return to a pinnacle which they have reached many times before as champions of the world. The Cardinals are still alive. They're desperately trying to retain the championship of the baseball world, which they won from the Yankees last fall. Murray Dixon begins warming in the St. Louis bullpen, a right-hander. Lanier continues throwing. Apparently, Southworth is figuring on a pinch hitter. Mort Cooper is slated to come up 3rd here in the last of the 7th inning. And the Cardinal manager well knows that pitching does not mean so much to him anymore until he can get even. He's behind. 2-0. So his strategy will have to be directed toward an offense. In other words, offense first with the best defense second that he can muster. The Yankees are in the other extreme. Everything for them is set on the defensive side. Johnny Hopp, who played at first base all the 5 games of the series last year and didn't get into the series until the 5th game of this one today, is up, drags a bunt down toward first base. Chandler off the mound, fields it, throws to first in time, and Hopp is out. He tried to pull a bunt with him. He's very adept at that, but the ball was a little too close to the mound, and Chandler, who can move, got off, fielded it, and Hopp on his bid for a bunt single is out, the pitcher to the first baseman. Snats Marion, tall shortstop. It's a round of applause as he steps in. Snats is 0 for 1 officially today. It's 4 for 12 so far for the series. Swings and hits a high pop fly back of third. It's coming down in foul ground. Johnson backing under it. And he takes it, squeezing it for the out. 2 up, 2 down. Now will it be a pinch hitter? It will be. Harry Walker, he and his 2-tone bat, who had played center field throughout this series until today when Southworth realigned his outfield. That's the official announcement. Harry Walker hitting for Big Cooper, and Cooper is out of the game. Harry Walker stepping in. 2 men off, nobody on, last of the 7th. The pitch swung on. There's a high fly ball into short right center that goes in for a base hit. And Harry Walker drops a fly ball single at Texas Liga into right center field for a pinch hit single. Single to short right center. This is hit number 6 off Chandler. And the top of the order, Lou Klein steps in for St. Louis. There will have to be a new pitcher for the Cardinals in the 8th inning. Dixon, a right-hander, and Lanier, a left-hander, are in the bullpen. Lanier's been down there a long time. He's ready right now. Klein digs in at the plate, swings and fouls it back. Right off the chest protector, catch a Dickey. 1 strike, 2 men out, a runner at first. Last of the 7th inning. Score remains 2-0 in favor of the Yankees. In the Yankee bullpen, Fordham, Johnny Murphy, and Hatley Donald, both right-handers, are ready, keeping ready. Probably will from here on out. Chandler delivers, Klein swings and fouls it up and back onto the stands, directly behind home. Strike 2. Murphy, the great relief specialist, he's already ready down in the Yankee bullpen. And Donald is throwing easily, too. Chandler and Dickey are going to have a little confab. They meet halfway between the mound and the plate. Probably check batter signs. Also check just how they want to pitch now to Klein. They have 2 strikes on him. 2 men are out. Harry Walker just pinch hit a single to right center. This means for St. Louis that the batter is the potential tying run. The Yankees, of course, are fully cognizant of the situation. Chandler, ready, delivers, and just misses with a slider on the outside and low. Spud didn't like the call. He started to walk off the mound when he saw Klein take that. Walked a couple of steps and, of course, goes back. 1-2. Outfield swung slightly around toward left. Chandler in position, delivers, curve swung on, foul back onto the netting. Still 1-2. Dickey walks carefully out in front of the plate, makes his return. Rhythmic hand clapping now, again going all through the St. Louis stands. Cardinal fans hoping for a rally. Fine strike 3 called. A curveball on the outside. Chandler started to walk from the mound and he kept right on walking. His 6th strikeout. Score is 2-0. Favor the Yankees, and that ends the 7th inning. And now a special message to servicemen regarding the distinctly new package of Gillette blades available only at post exchanges, ship service stores, and similar outlets. I'm talking about the camouflage package in khaki and green, designed for men in the armed forces. The blades in this package are of true Gillette quality, made to fit your Gillette razor precisely. What's more, the edges are super keen and mirror finished, so you get swell-looking shaves quickly and comfortably. You may have noticed that there is no mention of Gillette products or Gillette sponsorship of this World Series broadcast during the play-by-play account of the game. And that's because this broadcast is shortwave to our servicemen overseas, and Army regulations forbid commercial credit of any kind. So all commercials are brief and are confined to spots between innings when they are tuned out by the shortwave monitor. Gillette is proud to so cooperate with government authorities in bringing this World Series broadcast to our boys. Max Lanier is called on to relieve. Strong-arm left-hander is ready to pitch against the Yankees in the 8th inning. The 3rd game he's been in. He started, went 7 innings, and was charged with a tough defeat in Game 1. Yesterday he started, went 7 innings, and the score was 1-1. The defeat, when the 2nd run was scored, was charged to his replacement, Burkeen. The first pitch is made to Bud Matheny, a curveball over for a called strike. When the air comes down, the curve swung on. There's a high drive along the left field line that is coming down just foul and just a half step away from left field at dead gone. The ball was twisting as he went along the line. We had to wait. We couldn't call it either fair or foul, or caught or not. 2 strikes. That's the count to Matheny. Of course, he was the one who couldn't wait. He had to run. He was as far as second base when the ball finally dropped. And it could not be ruled foul until it did drop, because the ball was out along the outfield line and past third base. Strike 2. First man up in the 8th inning. Matheny 1 for 3. The pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. And Lanier comes on and strikes out Matheny. And it is significant that McCarthy, when the left-hander came on, Lanier did not change his batting order. He's staying with his ball club as it began. Batting order concocted for right-hander Mort Cooper. Here is Bill Johnson, 0 for 3 today. Right-hand batter. They play him straight away. Swings and hits a line drive for a solid single into left field. Gomes retrieves it, throws into second, and Johnson is content with first. He made his turn, but didn't go in very far. Single to left. And that for Johnson gives him his 6th World Series safety in this, his first World Series, which comes right on the heels as a climax to his first year in the majors. Charlie Keller, who singled with 2 out in the 6th inning, and who then a moment later rode home is Dickie Homut to account for the run so far 2-0 the Yankees. Keller takes a curve outside. Ball 1. Murray Dixon, the little right-hander, continues working St. Louis's bullpen. Lanier on the mound. Mort Cooper gave way for a hitter, last of the 7th. Change of pace pitch is over, but too high, and it is ball 2. Outfield swung around toward right and back. One man down. Johnson leading off first. Sanders holding the bag against near pitches. Keller takes a low inside curve for ball 3. Lanier's in trouble. Behind 3-0. And with Keller up there and with the Yankees leading, this is not an automatic strike setup. With a hitter like Keller, a 3-0 pitch is very rarely an automatic strike situation. We'll know in a moment. The pitch is taken for a strike. 3-1. Keller started a couple of paces down toward first and was recalled. Charlie's gotten his orders from McCarthy and relayed through one of the 2 coaches, either Coombs at first or Fletcher at third, about hitting and taking. 3-1 pitch. High for ball 4, and Keller walks. And here is Bill Dickey walking up toward the plate. 2 men are on. The St. Louis fans are applauding Dickey. Dickey has been a great figure in baseball and a great credit to this game of ours. Bill steps in. Last time up, he hammered the homer with 1 on. Keller's at first, Johnson at second. Lanier ready. Delivers. Dickey swings and beats a ground ball down to first base, foul by a foot. Runners had broken. Now they're retracing their steps. Keller going from second back to first. Johnson is trotting from third back to second. Keller is just walking. Dickey digs in. Standing slightly behind the plate. 1 man out, top of the 8th inning. Lanier's ready. Left-handed pitches. Curveball outside. 1-1. Max is now, beyond all odds, the busiest pitcher in the series. He's the only one to be in 3 games. That is over a great length. Burkeen was called on for relief 3 times, an inning at a time. There's a fastball that is low outside. Ball 2, 2-1. Speaking of Burkeen, he is now beginning to warm up in St. Louis's bullpen. Dixon continues. So it's a left-hander and a right-hander going down there. Lanier on the mound. Delivers. Dickey takes low. And the count jumps to 3-1. Dickey standing quietly outside batter's box as catcher O'Day walks in front of the plate. Makes the return to his battery mate. The Yankees may be playing run and hit. We'll see. The runners lead off first and second. The pitch, the runners hold. Dickey swings. There's a hot one down to second. Flying up, throws to Marion. 1 out. Throw to first. Double play. Double play. The double play was second to short to first, and that took care of the Yankee threat in the eighth, and that ends the first half of the eighth inning. It's a fact, fans, as Kenny O'Day and Bill Dickey would tell you. They are the two catches right now. That shaving's a lot quicker and easier when you use Gillette shaving cream, lather, or brushless. Some men prefer one kind, some the other. If you like brushless best, it's a cinch you'll prefer Gillette brushless to any other brand you ever tried. Here's why. Gillette brushless is specially processed to hold abundant moisture. That makes it a double quick beard softener that lubricates the blade and speeds shaving. Another thing, Gillette brushless is free from grease. It won't clog your razor or bathroom drains. So I repeat, if you like brushless best, you'll prefer Gillette brushless, only a quarter. The attendance figures have just been released. The crowd is 33,372. 33,372 for $148,510. Now we're moving into the last half of the eighth inning. Score stands 2-0 in favor of New York. Deb Gomes digs in, crowding that plate, switching that piece of hickory, left-hand batter, and Chandler's first pitch is a fastball, low inside, ball one. 1-0. Outfield around toward right. Gomes is a threat to drop a bunt. Johnson is playing up inside third. Cardinal fans now clamoring for a rally. There's a bounding ball hit down to second. Gordon in, throws in time by a step. Arms is out, second to first. Gordon at one man up, one man out. Last of the eighth inning. Stan Musial, who walked in the first inning, then in the third was fanned, and again was struck out in the fifth. Musial up. He's the great hitter of the Cardinals. He was baseball's leading hitter this past summer. Crouches and takes a quick sliding curve for a called strike. Southworth continues talking it up, pacing restlessly up and down in coach's box back at third. Mike Gonzalez hollers something in that peculiar gibberish of his. Chandler pitches outside, ball one. 1-1. One ball, one strike, one out. Last of the eighth. Score remains 2-0 in favor of the Yankees. Dickey homered with Keller on in the sixth inning. The pitch swung on, hit down toward second. Gordon takes on a big bounce, plenty of time. That's all for Musial, out second to first. Two men up, two men gone. Kenny O'Day walking in. He got his double single in the sixth inning on his one at-bat. So he's 1 for 1 today. He has one hit for two official at-bats for the entire series. Chandler ready. Delivers outside, a fastball. Ball one. Chandler hollers for Dickey to come out and talk to him. Now the battery mates have their heads together. Sled goes stumping back up onto the mound. Dickey settles down back to the plate. Rommel stations himself. He's the plate umpire, squarely behind the catcher. The pitch over the outside for a called strike. Slider. One ball, one strike. A slider is halfway between a curveball and a fastball. It comes down fast, takes a short break, but a quick sliding break. Fastball low inside at the shins. 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Chandler moving down a hurry, pitches just outside, and O'Day starts to swing but doesn't break his wrist. Dickey turns, appealing to the plate umpire. Then Ramos shakes his head no. He didn't swing. And it's ball 3. 3-1. O'Day has his orders, hitting and taking. Percentages to take. He does, and it's a call. Second strike. 3-2. Now, of course, O'Day doesn't have to look anywhere for a sign. 2 men out, last of the 8th inning. 3-2 to O'Day. The Yankees leading 2-0. Chandler delivers. There's a drive hit out into right center. It's a solid base hit. And O'Day goes down to first and holds on with a long, ringing single that center fielder Steinbach recovers and throws into Gordon, who takes it at second base. So O'Day has 2 for 2. That one he hit right on the line. Line drive single. And up steps Kurowski, who carries the potential punch to even up the ball game. And the crowd now has moved, should we say, to the collected edge of its seat. Kurowski stepping in. He was badly hurt in the collision with Lindell at the stadium. Throw. Curve on the outside. Then as Bill Corum told you before game time. Nobody knew it during the game yesterday that Kurowski had been up all the night before in excruciating pain with a gallstone. He had an hour's sleep. He took medicine to induce that. And he played yesterday. George takes a pitch inside that almost got him on the shoulder. Ball 2. And Kurowski is a very tough-minded fellow. He willed it that he would be a major leaguer. You know, he has about 4 inches taken out of one of the bones in his right wrist, which has caused his right arm to be quite crooked. That was an operation when he was a boy of 10. He hurt that wrist and the bone got infected. The pitch swung on. There's a hot one to third. That goes out for a base hit. And O'Day moves to second and holds on. The tying run is on. Kurowski hammered a savage, screaming, quick-hopping drive right at Johnson, who set to play it. Johnson went in to play it, but the ball took a quick hop and went right over Johnson's left shoulder. It is a base hit, and the tying run is on. This Kurowski hammered one right over third. It really just took off. Have you ever thrown a flat rock very hard at a pond and seen that rock take a quick bounce? Sort of scale itself? Well, that's just how that drive that Kurowski hit one over Johnson's left shoulder. And there's a conference out at the mound now between shortstop Cazzetti and catcher Dickey and Chandler. In the Yankee bullpen, Donald and Murphy, both right-handers, resume warming up. And Kurowski comes up with his second hit of this ball game. The tying run is on. Kurowski at first. Days at second, and the batter is Sanders. Left-hand batter, who pulls him. He's dangerous in this park with a short right field. There's a curve inside that gets away from Dickey for the moment, but the runners hold on. The ball got away about 10 feet from Dickey, but the runners were ordered to hold up because what Southworth doesn't want is an out. 2 men are out. He'll do anything rather than give a chance for another out here in the 8th inning. He didn't allow those runners to even try to advance. O'Day, who is not too fast a runner, is at second. Kurowski is at first. 2 singles here, and both of them hard ones off Chandler after 2 men were retired. Sanders up there. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch swung on. There's a bounding ball hit right down to second baseman Gordon. The place to first for the out, and the side is retired in the last of the 8th inning. Sanders bounces out, second to first, no runs, 2 hits. The tying runs were left on. There were no Yankee errors. At the end of 8 innings, it is 2 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. For New York, no runs, 8 hits, and 1 error for St. Louis. We pause now for station identification. This is Mutual.
This is WGN, the voice of the people, Chicago.
Move now into the 9th inning. And the big burning question is this the 9th inning? Is this the final inning of the 1943 World Series? Is it? No man knows, but we soon will know. Keeps working away in the bullpen. Cazzetti should get on. Maybe that Southworth Judging from the strategy he's already exhibited, will bring Bertine in to pitch to Matheny, a left-hand hitter. Then it would be interesting to see whether McCarthy would stand pat again. All these things will unfold themselves. Right now, here's the 3-1 pitch. Ball 4, and Crizzetti is on. Dixon comes on and gets Chandler thanks to a great catch of a foul ball by catcher O'Day, but Crizzetti draws a base on balls. The bases are loaded. Crizzetti taking first, Steinbeck moving to second, and Gordon going on to third. Matheny steps in to hit, and Southworth is standing pat with Dixon. The Yankees ahead 2-0. Now have 3 men on with 2 men out in the top of the 9th inning at St. Louis. The left-hand hitter sets. Dixon right-hands the pitch. A curve over above the knees for a call strike. Feeney backs out. Gets some dirt on his hands. Now digs in. He's a squarely set fellow. Square shoulders. Goes that bat way back. Pitch. High curve for ball 1. 1-1. Feeney so far today has been up 4 times. He has 1 hit. Single to left field. A solid one in the 3rd inning. Slightly open stance. Dixon pumps full pitching motion. Delivers. Curve swung on, hit down to first. Sanders is up with it. The toss is to Dixon, covering for the out at first base. That's all for the Yankee threat. Matheny grounded out the first baseman, fielding it and tossing to the young pitcher who covered. No runs, 1 hit, 3 men left. There were 2 walks. The Cardinals, no errors. It is 2-0 in favor of the Yankees as they take the field. The Cardinals come in for their last chance, not only at this ball game, but for the 1943 World Series. We are down to the last brass tack unless the Cardinals can come up with 2 or more runs. That's the crux of the matter. For the Yankee club defensively, Chandler on the mound. Bill Dickey with home run. With Keller on at first and 2 men out in the 6th inning. Accounted for all the runs so far today. Dickey with the tools on back of the plate. Big Nick Etten is at first. At second, Joe Gordon. Charlie Keller is at left. In center is Steinbeck, a former Cardinal, by the way. And in right field is Bud Matheny.
Number 18, Lindell.
In just a moment, there's McCarthy bringing Matheny in from right field. And the announcement is made that Lindell is going out. In other words, McCarthy is sending Lindell, who is figured to be a better ground cover. For a purely defensive measure, he's sending Johnny Lindell, who this time last year was sitting on the Yankee bench as a pitcher not good enough to perform in the series. He's been an outfielder all year. Lindell goes to right field in place of Matheny to make that change. Johnny Hopp is to be first up for St. Louis, followed by Marion, and then by the relief pitcher, and that probably means the pinch hitter. Chandler pitches to Hopp, over for a call strike, fastball. Lindell playing right field here in the 9th inning, replacing young rookie Matheny. Lindell got a ball hawk. Pitch to Hopp is on the outside, ball 1, 1-1. Down in the Yankee bullpen, right-handers Johnny Murphy and Atlee Donald are ready. They've been throwing steadily. A pitch swung on. There's a high pop fly into left field. Keller signals he'll take it. He's waiting. He has it. 1 out. And the Cardinals behind 2-0 are down to their last 2 outs. Fly ball to the left fielder. Johnny Hopp has gone 0 for 4 in his only World Series game played this year. That's Marion stepping in. He's 0 for 2, his official at-bats today. He has 4 hits for 13 official tries so far in the Classic. Marion up. Outfielders step around toward left. Infield straight away. Chandler works. Over for a call strike. Slider off the hands over the inside. 0-1. Bullpen activity continues very furiously. Chandler delivers a curve high for 1, 1-1. Donald is throwing a great deal harder than Murphy. Murphy is now throwing just to keep his arm in trim. He's ready.
The pitch, curve swung on, foul, back onto the netting, and the bat spins out of the fingers of Marion and goes all the way down to first. First base coach Mike Gonzalez retrieves it, throws it to slats. Bob Scanlon, the Cardinal bat boy, went down there, but Mike had already come up with the stick. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 man out, nobody on. Last half of the 9th inning. 2-0 against the Cardinals. The Yankees afield and lead. Bill Dickey's home run, following Charlie Keller's 6th inning single with 2 out. Chandler works. The curve swung on. There's a drive. It's a base hit in the left field. A solid single for Marion. His bat went out of his hands, but not before he had Shalala that ball right on the trademark. And it is a solid single smashed into left field. And the Cardinal hopes go rising. And the excitement in the crowd now begins swelling anew. A pinch hitter, Danny Litwala, who had been the left fielder until today's game, coming in the bat. That was hit number 9 for the Cardinals, was that single by Slat Marion. Gives him 5 hits out of 14 official at-bats. Now Danny Litwala digging in. Right-hand batter with 3 hits to his credit. That's an outside curve that Litwala doesn't chase. Litwala hitting for Dixon. Danny can hit a long ball, as you know. Chandler drives off the fingers of his pitching hand. Litwala crouches. The pitch swung on. There's a drive going into center. It's in for a pinch hit single, and Marty Marion holds at second base. Litwala hits a low fly ball single into short center, and the tying run has reached first base. Now Dickey goes out to the mound to talk to Chandler. McCarthy, Fletcher, and Combs are sitting right next to each other on the bench. You can see them. Down in the Yankee bullpen, Murphy and Donald continue working away. Litwala has come up with a pinch hit single to center and put the tying run on at first. Still 1 man out, and leadoff Lou Klein is up. Runners at first and second. The infield moves in about halfway now. The Yankees tried to pull the hidden ball trick. Prezzetti kept the ball after he'd had a conference with Chandler, but the Cardinals were hep to it all the way. That's the first attempt for a hidden ball so far in the series. Lou Klein digs in. It's 2-0 favor the Yankees, and the Cardinals fighting back gamely. The pitch, fast curve, a slider over the outside for a ball strike. 0-1. The crowd that has packed the park is very tense, very excited. Big Chandler looks back at second, delivers. Klein takes call, strike 2. Fast one right over above the knees. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Danny Litwala moving down off first, a long lead. They're not holding the bag against him. Marion off second. The pitch, a curve, strike 3 swinging, and Klein struck out on an outside curveball. That is the 7th strikeout for Chandler. The 14th strikeout of the ball game as 7 Yankees went down on strikes. Big Mort Cooper struck out the first 5 men. Well, here we are. Is this to be the last out? Just what? Jeb Gomes, 0 for 3. Darkly tanned, stocky, left-hand hitting veteran. There's a pitch that hits the plate, and Dickey traps it neatly. It was a save. Ball 1, of course. 1 ball, no strikes. The Cardinal runners ready to fly on the slightest provocation. 2 men out. Last of the 9th inning. Marion down off second. Pinch hitter Litwala, who delivered, down off first. Chandler in position. Gomes crouches. Swings, hits a ground ball down to second. Gordon has it, throws to first. The Yankees are champions of the world again, as Joe Gordon throws to Nick Etten.
Hello, forces. This is the BBC at Sportsman's Park, where the New York Yankees have just won the 5th game and the World Series against the St. Louis Cardinals. This program is presented by the BBC for the benefit of listeners in Britain, the Mediterranean area, the Middle East, and India. Our commentator is again Don Dunphy, and as special guests we have Bill McGugan of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and Bill Coram of the New York Journal-American. And now, here's Don Dunphy.
Hello, everyone, and particularly you servicemen around the world. Yes, the New York Yankees are again champions of the baseball world. Today, out here in St. Louis, behind the great pitching of Spurgeon Spud Chandler, they shut out the St. Louis Cardinals by a score of 2-0 to take the 1943 World Series by a count of 4-1, thus reversing the count of last year's series when the Cardinals beat them 4-1. The big blow, fittingly enough today, was a home run by Chandler's battery mate, the veteran Bill Dickey, the Yankee catcher, with Charlie Keller on base in the 6th inning. It was a titanic home run with 2 out in that 6th inning and the score 0-0. A titanic home run over the right field pavilion, and it won the ball game and the series. Had it not been for that blow, the teams might be playing yet. The Yankees, therefore, have now won 10 World Championships, more than any other team, and this is their 7th World title under their great manager, Joe McCarthy. The totals in today's ball game were New York, 2 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error, and 9 men left on base. And St. Louis, no runs, 7 hits, and 1 error, and 11 men left on base. And those 11 men left on base by the Cardinals, almost 2 in most innings, was the story of the ball game. They could get them on, but they couldn't get them across against the veteran right-hander Spud Chandler from Georgia. A crowd of 33,872, practically all partisan St. Louis followers, sat in very sadly on today's ball game. Today's victory was the 2nd of the series for Chandler. You know, he beat the Cardinals in the opening game by a score of 4-2. Today he outpointed Mort Cooper, who started on the mound for St. Louis and was great until Bill Dickey came through with that home run. Cooper went 7 innings and gave up the big blow by Dickey. He was followed on the mound by Max Lanier, a left-hander, and Murray Dixon, a right-hander, neither of whom allowed the Yankees to score. Chandler, in his efforts on the mound, struck out 7 and walked 2 men. We're going to give you some of the highlights of the previous games before we give you the highlights of today's game. And, of course, the big highlight of today was the pitching of Chandler, followed by the home run by Bill Dickey. The first game of the series went to New York by a score of 4-2, Chandler being the winning pitcher and Max Lanier the loser. The second game found St. Louis winning its only game of the series by a score of 4-3, with Big Mort Cooper, whose father had died only that morning, outpointing Big Ernie Bonham on the mound for New York. The score of that one 4-3, and it evened up the series. However, St. Louis was never in it again, although they fought right down to the wire. The third game went to New York by a score of 6-2, after the Cardinals had been leading 2-1 right down almost to the end. Hank Barowie was the winning pitcher in that third game for New York, and left-handed Al Brazel was the loser for St. Louis. And the fourth game found New York starting a left-hander in the series for the first and only time, Marius Russo, and he certainly was adequate as he beat Harry Brackeen of the Cardinals, another left-hander, by a score of 2-1. There were 4 home runs in the series. Joe Gordon of the Yankees, who was a star throughout, hit 1 in the first game. Marty Marion and Ray Sanders of the Cardinals hit home runs in the second game. And, of course, you know that Bill Dickey hit a home run for the Yankees in the 5th game. Other outstanding spots in the series were the play of Frankie Cossetti at field and at bat for the Yankees. The veteran shortstop hadn't been counted on much throughout the regular season, but he was in there in this series, and he was a potent factor in the Yankee victory. Bill Johnson, the Yankee third baseman, broke up the key third game with a 3-bagger with the bases filled, and that one single shot probably decided the series. You know, the teams were tied 1 game apiece when Johnson came to bat in that third game, and the Yankees were trailing 2-1. But he blasted out that triple, and the Yankees never again were behind. Marius Russo, whose great pitching and hitting won the fourth game for New York, 2-1. He scored the winning run in that game, besides being superb on the mound. And there was also the great fielding by the impenetrable Joe Gordon down at second base, and he also belted out a homer. And besides hitting a homer for the Cardinals, Marty Marion, their shortstop, was great in the field. Sanders, as I told you, also got a home run in the second game. Mort Cooper was a great pitcher for the Cardinals, although he won one game and lost one game. He struck out 5 Yankees in a row to start off today's game, but thereafter he settled down and gave up that big home run by Dickey later on. Cooper struck out the side in the first inning, and then the Cardinals came to bat. We're going to give you some of the reasons that the Cardinals didn't win today's game. I mean, the way they left men on base. Manager Billy Southworth shook up his lineup today, benching Danny Litzweiler and Harry Walker in the outfield and inserting veteran Debs Gomes and Harry Hupp in center field, Gomes in left. However, later in the ball game, Litzweiler and Walker were both to appear as pinch hitters and come through with singles. Klein started the Cardinals off by lining out a single in the first inning, and Gomes sacrificed and was out at first base, Klein going to second. And then Musial walked, but Walker Cooper forced Musial at second, Crossetti to Gordon, and was safe over on first, Klein going to third. The Cardinals lost a great opportunity when Karowski bounced to Johnson at third and was out at first base. The Cardinals left 2 more men on base in the second inning. Sanders started the inning by poking a single into right field. Hopp bounced the ball back to Chandler, who wheeled and threw to Crossetti for a double play. But Crossetti, in trying to get the ball off to first base for the double play, dropped it, and both men were safe. And it was an error for Frankie. Marion sacrificed, advancing the runners to third and second respectively. But Chandler was equal to the occasion and struck out pitcher Mort Cooper and got Klein on a fly to Matheny in right field, ending the inning. And here's the big inning for the Yankees, the 6th inning. It started out harmlessly enough, but Matheny was the first hitter, and he flied out to Musial in right field. And Johnson was out, Marion to Sanders for the second out of the inning. And then Charlie Keller, who hadn't been doing very much hitting in the series, drilled the ball through the Yankee infield out into right field for a single. And Bill Dickey came up, caught a hold of one of Mort Cooper's fastballs, pounded it over the pavilion in right field for a homer, and that was the ball game and the series. Incidentally, this homer came in Bill Dickey's 38th World Series game, more than any player has played for one particular team, although Frankie Frisch of the New York Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals and Babe Ruth of the Boston Red Sox and the Yankees have played in more games. Etten ended the Yankee 6th inning by being out to Klein on a slow roller, but New York was out in front by a score of 2-0. Max Lanier came in to pitch for the St. Louis Cardinals in the 8th inning and got the Yankees out well enough. But the Cardinals lost another great chance in their half of the 8th inning. There were 2 out, Gomes and Musial, both bouncing out to Gordon at first base, when catcher Ken O'Day, who got into the ball game when Walker Cooper sustained an accident a split finger earlier, O'Day lined a single out into right center and went to second when Karowski pounded a single into left field. And now the tying runs were on base, but Marty Marion wasn't equal to the occasion and bounced out Gordon to first, ending the inning. The Yankees filled the bases in the 9th inning, but they failed to score. Max Lanier doing some good pitching for a while and being relieved by Murray Dixon, who finally got the side out. It was one of the few occasions in the entire series when the Yankees failed to capitalize. The Cardinals went down, still fighting in the 9th inning. Harry Hupp flied out to Charlie Keller in left field for the first out, but Marty Marion banged a single into left field, and Litzweiler, batting for Dixon, single to center, and again the tying runs were on base and the winning run at bat. But Lou Klein, the second baseman, came up. Chandler was much too good for him and struck him out. And now there were 2 out, and Debs Gomes, the veteran, was the only man between the Cardinals and defeat, and he wasn't equal to the occasion. He pounded a hard grounder down near second base. Gordon came up with it over to Etten, and the World Series was over. The New York Yankees taking the title again by a score of 4-1. And now for our guest, our first guest of the afternoon. It's my pleasure to bring to the microphone Bill McGugan, the well-known baseball writer of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Well, Bill, how do you feel now that your team has lost?
Don, Southworth just made the remark that last year the Cardinals had the sweetness of victory and this year the bitterness of defeat. And there's nothing else that anybody can think about it. But I don't think the Cardinals played their game in this series. They never did get the chance to get started. Their hitting was off, and maybe it was because they won the pennant so easily and so early. Although they, during the last 2 weeks of the season, didn't show any tendency to let down their play. Certainly they didn't play like they did in the World Series last year, nor in the regular season this year.
Well, Bill, can you pick out any particular incident which might have turned the tide in favor of the Cardinals?
Well, I think in this game here yesterday, if Krowski's a long drive to left field had gone just a little bit farther and gone into the bleachers, it might have turned the tide of battle in favor of the Cardinals, because they apparently couldn't untrack themselves at the plate. Most of their hits, if you recall, even today, Don, were little infield dribblers which somebody beat out, and they weren't slashing hits which the Cardinals usually get.
Well, thank you very much, Bill McGugan of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. And now for our second game, a gentleman whom I've known a long time, Bill Coram, the well-known sports writer of the New York Evening Journal and American, and who is heard on so many American broadcasts on baseball and fights and so forth. Bill, we'd like you to sum up the entire series for us.
Well, Don, that's a big order, and before I start giving it my poor best, I'd like to mention that today is Thanksgiving Day in the Dominion of Canada. And I'd like to say a word for all of us here who are so thankful to their troops and to all other troops overseas, and many of them we hope are listening, for what they have done to make us all have so much to be thankful for. The story of this ball game, and indeed of the series, Don, was that it wasn't in the cards. Today they were absolutely allergic to getting runs. They left 12 men stranded on bases, 7 in the first 4 innings of the ball game, believe it or not, and they just couldn't get to that plate against Mr. Spurgeon, Spud Chandler, the Yankee pitcher. That Spud is a very hard potato to peel in situations of this kind, and today he won his second series game and reversed what happened last year in the World Series when the Cardinals won 4 out of 5, except that in that first game last year the Yankees won, whereas the Cardinals, behind Morton Cooper, won in the second game this year. That was just the difference. Otherwise, it was almost an identical series, with the shoe being on the other foot. And so that proud pennant that flies out there in center field here in ancient Sportsman's Park, the World's Baseball Championship of the World, goes back tonight to a home it knows very well, the Flagstaff in the Yankee Stadium on the Harlem in New York. Bill Dickey, a tower of strength in this series, and to my mind one of the great catchers of all time, won his battery mate Chandler's ball game today, and of course guarding the field was one of the most miraculous, I'll use that word, even though it is a big word, second baseman I have ever seen in these fields. Better even than Hornsby or Gehringer or Frankie Fridge, to my way of thinking. And it was the old Arkansas traveler, Bill Dickey, catching his 38th World Series game that won this. The Cardinals couldn't win because they couldn't get runs and they couldn't get hits. They weren't hitting, and when you can't hit and you can't get runs, you can't win, Doc.
Thank you very much, Bill Coram of the New York Evening Journal and American. And that just about winds up our World Series broadcast. Again, the New York Yankees, by winning today 2-0, have regained the world title 4 games to 1. Now this is